Welcome to Kranky Live, the show where bold minds meet real talk. This isn't your average sports or news show. It's where we break down sports, culture, and controversy with facts, fire, and fearless honesty. Here, truth cuts through the noise, and hype gets exposed. From football to track and field, from world issues to local debates, we ask the tough questions, speak without fear, and go deeper than the headlines. We don't follow the crowd, we set the trend. While others recycle the same tired takes, we bring fresh insight, unfiltered analysis, and bold perspectives. No echo chambers, no puppet talk, just real conversations for people who think for themselves. Listen with your brain, not just your ears. Think critically, question boldly, and speak freely. This is Kranky Live, where reason rules the mic and truth always win. Come on, let's get into it. Good evening, or good night, I should say. What time is it? It's 8:01 Eastern Standard Time. Bless up, Drew Ross. Owen. Bless up, Chris Smith. Today is a very unique program because me have enough things from my mind. I'm just want to come talk to you. Should I speak patois? Should I speak regular English? Or what should I speak? Because me spoke at one point. Me used to be a real Jamaican. Me used to be an Englishman. All sort of stuff. So I don't know how mate I should speak. I gotta figure out how I should communicate to my audience. But we're here tonight. It's a call-in show, you know, I should run the number to it. It's a call-in show, people. It's a call-in show. I do less of the talking and I do most of the talking. Call-in show. You want to hear patois? But if I speak patois pristine, there are individuals who have subscribed to my channel who do not understand the language. But if I speak English, everybody who listening to it who speak patois would also understand me. So would it be fair to speak patois solely, or would it be fair to speak English? I may have some mixture of patois into it. You tell me what's fair. Because I don't know people. I know people from even my old job who subscribe, even though I'm not sure that's a good idea for them to do, given how I operate in this environment. But I'm going to speak both, and I have a mixture stuff. It's a mix up. You know, like you have go to a restaurant and it's not a specific dish. The dish is just very broad. It's not very targeted. We're just going to talk about a lot of different things. We probably start with sports and end with anything you want to end with. But a lot of discussions tonight about a lot of different things. Because I have a lot on my mind I want to talk about. I'm going to do some shows next week, which I'm prepping for, which are not sports specific. I haven't done a lot of Trump shows yet. And Trump is hot topic, people. When I'm on YouTube, all I say is Trump stuff, and people that get 100,000 views. I'm saying, you know what? We need some views. So I'm going to do some Trump stuff. Pristine Jamaican. Someone say we can't talk about that. How you going to grow up in Jamaica and can't talk about that? Don't make no sense, Lee Young. I think I'm versatile enough. I don't speak any other language. I took a lot of Spanish in school, probably did I take about 4 years of Spanish? I still can't speak Spanish. Maybe I secretly love Trump. If I love chaos, if I love anarchy, if I love madness, yeah, I would love Trump. And you hear that you're divisive as well. Let's not forget that. I'm divisive. Yeah, that divisive thing is a little bit interesting, actually, which I will, you know what I would like to do, people? I don't have access to Maverick. I don't want to really go to Maverick channel because I used to call into Maverick's program and I asked him to come on my channel and he said, I forgot what he said. No, I asked somebody to ask to come on my channel and he said, yeah, or something like that, or whatever he said, but never came. And I don't think I should give somebody my time if they believe that their time is more important than mine. I don't believe in that. But I would go on his channel to, or his radio show to engage with him about his perception of me and what I said, but if I go on his channel, I would tell him that it would have to be like a co-host role or where I get the time like Pioneer get, because I'm not doing no 5-minute thing. I'm not doing no quick what we call it, check the box 5-minute topical discussion. I want to argue with him about, or discuss with him, or debate him on a lot of different points, because I think he, even though he's a smart person, he lacks substance in most of the things that he talk about. So it's one thing to sort of engage. You would never hear me come and talk about and say, "Oh, you know what? Yeah, Kranky's wrong about Dixon," and then say, "Yeah, what's the stats?" You ain't gonna hear me say that, people, because I'm gonna know what the stats are, or have some semblance idea what the stats are. You ain't gonna hear me say that. So there's no underlying substance that substantiate or support his argument and his perspective. It's just opinion. And yes, he has good opinion sometimes, but opinion is a dime a dozen. Anybody can have opinion. Where's the substance of the argument? And he doesn't have those substance. So I don't fear anyone in any environment to have conversation or debate different topics. I'm not an expert in every single thing, but I think I can hold my own. But I would love to debate Maverick on any topic, frankly, because I think he lacks substance in a lot of those areas. Lacks substance. I think you guys don't realize that. Now, someone came on my channel and dropped there are two people who have done this. There's a person who wants to come here and call Nemard or something like that. Always going adverse to what I'm saying. I know there are people who comes on under pseudonames trying to make their points. Bless up, Pristine. I will get to that, Pristine. I should say that first, actually. So Pristine asked me to pivot, and she's right. And I always forget to do this, by the way, people. There is a really bad hurricane. I just spoke to my brother in Jamaica, actually. My brother lives in Jamaica, along with some niece and nephews I have there. But they're spread out. And he lives almost on I wouldn't call it a hill per se, but flooding is not an issue. But I'm very concerned about the people who are in certain places where they may be flooded out, or where their abode may not be as secure as it should be. So let's hope that everyone is taking the necessary measures to protect themselves, and that they will come out of the storm in good place. Because the storm not only is a concern about individual safety, there's also property damage, which can cost a lot of money and destroy people's lives. So let's hope that that works out well. Kranky, I've never seen you as hurt as you did yesterday. Cheer up, brother. Let me say something, people, because you guys may not realize this. So I'm not a hypocrite, right? If I get my name called out in a public domain, it's good for me and my channel. Let's be honest, people. In showbiz, all news is good news. And this is show business. It may not be big. I may be a small timer in this show business, but if somebody will call me out in public, I love that. Can we get a chance to go debate them? I show them up too. I'm very confident maybe debate Maverick. Maverick not no substance when I talk about. Maverick have opinion, you know, but his substance is flawed. And the problem that he has is, if you come on and your argument doesn't align with his, then he gives you the nonsense meter, which he did to me once, because I mentioned the whole diaspora and how Jamaicans abroad support the island but are not appreciated, and he give you the nonsense meter. Because that's what they always do. But he has no substance to it. By the way, people, let me just say this, because you'll get beaten for this, but we don't really care. Kaim Dixon had 9 minutes today. You know what? Let me just jump in that. Because somebody want to beat me now. I hope it's not Jamaica vibes. I hope the landslide. Look, people, if you're in Jamaica and you listen to this program, are you in an area, in a danger zone area, people, your safety is the most important thing. Protect yourself. Go someplace you can be safe. I understand that the material things are important and try to secure them, but go someplace where you're secure, people. It's very disturbing when people take certain risks because of material things. Find a way to secure your property. It's an imperative, but also make sure you secure yourself. Your life is the most important thing. All right? It's a tough situation, given this hurricane is coming up, and people's lives get affected materially, both property-wise and even their lives themselves, their own personal security and safety gets compromised because sometimes they don't make the best decision. So people deserve in a good situation. I hope the government actually is helping people who may be in some of these danger zones to be able to find areas to secure themselves. These materials can be replaced. Perhaps it will take time, but human lives are replaceable. Yeah, I mean, material things are important. We're not going to undermine them. But the life is an imperative. Even though we'll talk about this tonight, Donald Trump don't think so, just kill people for fun. We have a lot to talk about people. This could be a 6-hour show, even though I'm not stay that long. We plan to come on for an hour. So let me jump in some of the topics that I had on the list. I want to make sure I follow the listing I had. Some going to be less than others. The listing I had for the show. One is about the EPL, which I'm going to go through quickly. My team is in first place, even after today's game. My team is in first place. I was in first place. But I want to touch upon this. There are a number of games. Leeds beat West Ham 2-1 yesterday. And then we have some games today. Chelsea lost to Sunderland 2-1. Sunderland is in second place, people. You see what good planning can do? Sunderland spend a lot of money. Can money help you? But not only that, they bought in people like Xhaka. I have no idea why Xhaka went to Sunderland after being at Arsenal and then going to Leverkusen and then being an unbeaten season. But I think Xhaka went there with a promise that, one, he's going to be captain, which he is, and two, that he's going to be a takeover as coach when he completes because he does his badges. Bless up Eagle Republic. Yeah, Owen, it will be, and hopefully you're protected. Owen, if you're in Jamaica, I hope you protect yourself. Secondly, Chelsea lost to them. Chelsea took the lead, but Sunderland is a tough team. They play smart football, and they don't give up a lot of goals. I think they give up the second least amount of goals this season. They have 7 against, similar to Tottenham. I think we have Man City. They gave up 1 today, so they were tied with Man City, and they were behind Tottenham. Man City plays tomorrow, but they have only given up 7 goals, which is great for a newly promoted team. Bless up Bessa's documentary. Man U won today, so we can't talk to Presser. 16 points, Presser. If they beat you, Presser, 19, you have no Presser. If they beat you, not lead the league in the Presser. If they beat Arsenal, you'll be leading the league, Presser. Big time Presser. I'm very impressed with Man U and their progress. Amarin, people, you see how things can turn around, people. 3 weeks ago, Amarin I get beaten. Today, he's been celebrated. 16 points. I've only lost 1 of the last 5 games. A good thing. But the leader on the board, and hopefully we beat Crystal Palace tomorrow. It's going to be a tough game because they were on a 19-game unbeaten streak at one point. But we'll see how that goes. But I'm not spending a ton of time on this except to say Arsenal play tomorrow, Man City play tomorrow, Bournemouth play tomorrow. Enough team play tomorrow. Tottenham play tomorrow. The rest of the team who wouldn't play today play. Bless up Jason Gunnar. So it's a good thing. But hopefully Arsenal can win and we can just move on from this. Next topic. We'll go to them quickly, people. Presser still wants him fired. Why Presser? He's doing well. The double pivot seems to be working, even though Bruno is not a 8. But Casemiro is playing well, by the way, people. I think people say Casemiro old and forget up. Jimmy Carragher said that. Casemiro is playing well. So he should be lauded, and he's back in the Brazil team too. And he's quality. I watched Casemiro quite a bit and watch him play. Even though he's much slower than he used to be, he's not the destroyer he used to be. When you have quality, you have quality. Just like Ravel Morrison, by the way. I'm just saying. Let's go to the next topic. Reggae Boyz update. So my nephew in Jamaica, who doesn't follow football, people, I'm dead serious. He sent me a text today. So I pick up the text, and he said, let me try if I can find the text. So I'm sending it today. Send me a text from Jamaica. He know watch football. We know said Jay know watch football. He might go college at Jamaica. He know watch football. We don't know what I'm doing for fun. Where is his text? We said we can't find the text, people. Because he sent me the text today, and I was laughing. So he sent me the text. I didn't even realize what he was saying. I called him by mistake. I'm trying to find his text. But anyway, he sent me the text, and he says, I have to find it, because I think he was trying to say something that I said. Where is his text? I can't find it. But the gist of the text was, he sent me the Brentford bench. The only person I saw in the bench first was Reece Nelson. You know, Reece Nelson is there on loan from Arsenal. And then he says, no. Look at the text again. So then I see Rico Henry. I say Ethan Pinnock. And then I see Antonio in the background. So I had a man in my Brentford, which is 3 1/4. Coming every Nelson one convert upon the bench, people. Rico Henry get about 2 minutes. Obviously, Antonio injured, and Ethan Pinnock they get 1 minute in the game. Which I've been talking about is a theme for Jamaica football team, which is a lot of the players are not getting minutes, which is not good, people. A lot of the players are not getting minutes, which is not good for the national team. And then I said, look at some other names of players. Because, you know, I get beaten about the wingers that I talked about, Cephas, Dixon. I didn't look up Whisper. I just glanced at 3 of them. So I looked at Cephas. He was not in the match squad for last week's game. And today, I think his team played tomorrow. So there was no... And by the way, Transfer Market is my source. So if it's wrong, it's wrong. Go to my source. Then I look at Dixon. He got 9 minutes today. 9 minutes out of 90. That's what? What, 10%? Engaged for play. I couldn't do a position playing. And here's my point about the Dixon thing. Because when I mentioned on the KLAS station talking about Dixon and Cephas, and I said Dixon probably should not be in the squad, just given the facts. What is open mic? Open mic, we talk about any and everything we want to talk about. That's open mic. I mentioned Dixon. I mentioned Tyrese Hall. I said Tyrese Hall should be called in Jamaica's squad. And Maverick said me I thought about some man playing in some local Bush League, right? Some local Bush League man. Me I talk about if he come in the national team and if he come play. And with the view that where Tyrese Hall playing is Bush League, and how me I want some Bush League man to come take the game of big time Dixon, right? That's what that inferred in that comment. Now, if he's saying Tyrese Hall is playing in a Bush League, right, which is interesting, but Dixon's playing in the same league. So I'm kind of confused about that statement. My system is messing up, people. I'm kind of confused. Yeah, Jason Gunnar, that is true, actually. It's really sad, Jason Gunnar. It's actually getting to be chronic, to be honest. It's getting to be chronic. Seriously, it's chronic. Most of the players in Jamaica national team are getting little or no minutes. It's not good. So let's see this. Actually, let me see this. So Tyrese Hall played 90 minutes today for Notts County. Let me answer good. Tyrese Hall played 90 today. He played 66 the week before. And he played 90 before. He played 68. So Tyrese Hall is getting minutes. He has 4 goals and 1 assist. He's getting minutes. Dixon is playing in the same league for Crawley Town and can't get the minutes. You know me, they might fight Dixon, people. They might fight Dixon. Charlton was fighting him. They're not playing him. And now Crawley Town are fighting him. I same thing in England. I did them go with them. All them fight the youth. All them fight Dixon. That's why I'm not give him regular game. And by the way, I did look at Tyrese Campbell, not Tyrese Hall. He played 90 minutes today. I think he played 70-something the week before, if I'm not mistaken. He got an assist in that game against Ipswich. I think they probably lost that game. But he played center forward today too. 90 minutes. He played a whole 90 minutes. So Tyrese Campbell, who's at Charlton with Dixon and now went to the championship, and Dixon went down to League 2, and they both play for Jamaica, but Dixon get more time than Tyrese Campbell. I am not that smart. Oh, he's not British. Okay, yes. So the Balabas of the world and all those other players who from other countries who come to England and get game, and all those other players in championship who come to England and get game, I think they have a better relationship with the English people than Dixon does. I think Dixon upset somebody like Daniel Johnson upset somebody from the Reggae Boyz. I think that's what happened. That's why Dixon not get no game. Hey, Guna, you know it. Yeah. Hey, Guna, you know it, Guna. We used to worry about production. Now we just want some minutes, Guna. We just want some minutes. Now, Chris says, Kranky, only Jamaican boy get a fight. Yes. And the view is, people, we go back into the whole thing. I want to tonight, no subject. The view is that the diaspora, the Jamaican diaspora, who are not true Jamaicans, they're fighting against locally born players. And the local people in Jamaica are very supportive of overseas born players. Now, I heard Maverick, because I listened to the program again today, and I'm listening to the podcast, he called me out. Because, you have to digest things, and him say, here's the problem with Maverick. So I get beaten for this, but I don't really care. I get beaten anyway. If me I call them and say, yes, me G, where I say me G. None of my G stand for. But you G them now. I just see them G them I call every week. I say the same nonsense. The program is not diversified. The program is not intuitive. The program is not expanding your mind. The program not teach you nothing. I just see a me G thing every day. Yeah, me G. You're up in the corner, me G. Oh, you do me G? Eh? In my program, I am trying to be educated and I'm trying to educate. That's it. Right? It's about deductive reason, about thinking, it's about us having conversation, it's about agreeing and disagreeing. It's not about catering to anybody. Right? So it's interesting. G means general, okay. But you're not in the military. I was in the military. Maverick's never been in the military. Is general just a colloquial term for my buddy, my friend, my partner? By the way, we know what G means, people, but it don't really mean nothing. No, if a military term, I talk about general, none of them are general, none of them are military. Only this person who go military, go now myself. Not that space there. So nobody have G thing. But you're general. You're not general for nothing. Except for talk nonsense. So here's the one thing that Maverick utilizes. Hey, people, I'm going to write down the thing here. We're going to put a teaching thing tonight. I have nothing we have to talk about. We have time. We don't make no plan for the evening. So, good evening.
Kranky, good evening. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm great.
What do you have to say?
So I'm listening to your reasoning, but the thing is, Kranky, all right, whenever you take a trip to Jamaica, and a lot of people don't want to hear it, but it's the truth. It's like you're traveling 10 years back.
In terms of what?
In terms of, I'll say the mindset, in terms of technology, in terms of how things are done, the process and systems is just not theirs yet. Right. And it will take time for it to get there. I mean, I know we want it now, but the little, especially what you're doing, is so important. When you break down, you don't only come here with emotions and how you feel, but you actually break it down with stats, numbers, and the truth. And when it comes to how we look at things, it's very warped. But again, this is the society that we're living in. And it's going to take time for Jamaica to get out of that, to catch up.
I mean, look, Jamaica is very broad. What do I mean by that? Because if you go to Jamaica, you realize that the diaspora has invested heavily in Jamaica, heavily in Jamaica, in a lot of different ways, right? Whether it's buying property, whether it's having businesses, whether it's giving back to their communities. I have a friend of mine who came from, he's going to give me a hard time. It's not Matches Lane, somewhere around that area. Because I said Matches Lane the other day and he beat me that it was Matches Lane. But whatever it is, he and his people go back every year with tons of supplies because he was an organizer in the community. He'd been here for probably 40 years. He's the president for my soccer team. And they go back every year. They have classes, give it a lot of different stuff, whether it's soccer boots, whether it's clothes, whatever it is, they just contribute back because they want to give back to where they come from, right? Which is very, very important, actually. One should give back if you have the means, you should be able to do so. The point I'm trying to make is that a lot of people who are here haven't forgot where they come from, and they try to contribute. But I'm not sure, and it becomes an entitlement versus something which is appreciated, right? After a while, it becomes an entitlement, it's not appreciated. And it's almost feel like the normal thing I get from people in Jamaica is, you guys act like you're better than people who are here. And you're going to have those situations. Is that the majority or is that the minority? You guys don't understand what we're going through, but we keep sending you money 24/7. What are you talking about? Why would you send money if we don't understand you? If we don't understand what you're going through? There's a lot of different things that are said on both sides, right? So it's both sides who do things sometimes which are not cool. But people in Jamaica may seem like it's a one-sided thing, and they don't realize how they operate, how they act, how they engage, and it's not one-dimensional. People here do things they probably shouldn't do, and it's vice versa.
But see, that's the thing, Kranky. When you look at it, I think when you look at us as, I'm just going right across the board when it comes to just being a black man living wherever. When you go to Africa, when you go to Brazil, we all suffer from the same thing. It's right across the board, same thing, no different.
In terms of what's
in terms of mindset, in terms of policies, in terms of how the system is run, in terms of even poverty, we're always below in education, in how the system is run, in terms of even structure of housing development. We're always behind the 8-ball. Like, we're always the last.
So why is that? Why is that?
It's a mindset. It's a mindset that we have, and the mindset starts from. Okay, let me rewind. When you see this thing that's called corruption, is embedded in any African or Black diaspora nation. This is like a cancer in any Black or African diaspora nation.
So let me stop you there for a second. Don't you think that corruption is endemic and embedded in society in general?
Yes, it is, but you have to look at, all right, for instance, let's look at the States, right? Corruption is here, is rampant. But these people have they have created a system where it works or somewhat works, right? Even with the corruption that's going on.
Right.
We don't have a system, period, at all. We're struggling to get there. Right, and it's when it comes to is no kind of leader that have like a zero tolerance, that can hold themselves accountable and everyone else around them accountable. It's just not there.
Yeah, look, I think so. I think the demise. So this is going to be very controversial, but actually, we believe this. The demise of people of color is orchestrated. It's not by chance. Now, the people of color don't help themselves, but also by how they operate. So people will say, Candace Owen and others would say, well, slavery's over. We have moved on a long time ago, and you got to lift yourself out of the bootstrap. Yeah, part of that is true, but things are systemic. They're not by chance. And the Black person's plight, both men and women, and not only Blacks, but disadvantaged groups, these things are not by chance that they happen. I'm gonna give you an example. So just think about Jamaica and the situation with Castro and Manley back in the 70s and the CIA and what that entailed. Just look at Africa, where they had leaders who were trying to cut the neighbor string with the US, with Europe, and they get assassinated. If you have any leader who have any gumption, who has any vision, who have any strategy, who are trying to uplift themselves and their people, they get lynched, they get killed, what they do is they co-opt people around them who are greedy, and they take them out. So the Black person's plight, I don't want to say Black man, is not because you don't have people in that society who don't have vision, don't have strategy, and don't want to get out of the situation, the malaise that they're in. It's because there are forces who have other interests, whether it's your raw material, your resource, whatever, and want to garner that, and they will do anything to do so, and they will do it covertly. I love Trump for a few reasons. One, when I say I love Trump, people don't get it twisted. I think the man is the worst thing since sliced bread. What I mean is
I know exactly what you're about to say.
Yeah, what I mean is this, which is when someone show you who they are and they're out in public doing it, that's great. When someone is covert and you can't see it, and they keep telling you you're great, but they're putting a knife behind you. And I've had that in corporate in my career, so I know it, and it's a fact. I fired somebody because of that. Eventually found out who was doing what they were doing. So I know how that works. This is not me making this up. You'd be amazed, and I'm going to write a book about it one day. You'd be amazed what people do sometimes to destroy you. It's not by chance. And then they make you look like you're just a conspiracy theorist, and you come up with this nonsense, and there's no such thing, but it happens. You hear Trump has orchestrated or approved the CIA doing covert operations in Venezuela. These things are what happens in these type of countries. So we shouldn't be fooled by the black man's plight or the black person's plight as to why people in Africa can't make progress or people in the Caribbean can't make the rest of progress. Look at Guyana and oil with Exxon. People, please go do the reading on Guyana oil and Exxon and the percentage they get of the oil that come out the ground and what they get paid. It's unbelievable, like really unbelievable. But go ahead.
But Kranky, but the thing is, Kranky, I think at some point you're right. This is not by mistake, right?
Yeah.
But at some point we have to find a way. Kranky, I don't have to like you, Kranky, and Kranky don't have to like me, but we have to find a way to work with each other.
Yeah, right? but here's another thing too. I don't disagree with you, determined, and I have when you get a little bit more seasoned people and you have time to think, and your mind wanders a lot, and you're trying to figure out solutions, and you're thinking about how can we change direction of travel? How can we change our plight? What can we do to, as you're saying, be more a collective than individual? If I go in Brooklyn here now, and about any street that is where the population is more black than anything else, I'm gonna see the same type of business. I'm gonna see a bakery. I'm gonna see a bakery. I'm gonna see a restaurant. I'm gonna see a barber shop, and the new business, which is lucrative more than all of them, I'm gonna see a church.
True.
I'm gonna see a church.
True. Church,
and boy, you want to see those church building because you think about you're pooling money, you know. The difference between all those business, the individual barber shop are owned individually. I'm gonna see a church. Okay, those who live in Brooklyn, go on Church Avenue and go between Church Avenue, between Utica Avenue and Kings Highway. Tell me how much church you see on the block. That's only about 6 block radius of church on the block. And some of them are nice church. I think churches are springing up everywhere. If you go on Ralph Avenue out here, where we're at Ralph Avenue and I forget where it is. Ralph Avenue and not Foster, between Farragut and Foster. Nice, big church. If you go down to Pennsylvania Avenue and Flatlands, wherever it is and this is just in Brooklyn, people, in these neighborhoods, not every block of a liquor store. It used to be that case, not in the West Indian neighborhood as much anymore. But not in West Indian neighborhood as much anymore. But in the African American neighborhoods, maybe. But the church is big business, people. And unlike those small businesses which can fail, the church never fails. Those churches don't fail. They don't go out of business.
I mean, but the church has a lot of tax breaks and
true.
Different things to help it to stand up.
Yeah. But the point is that how do we then? So where the world is going now, where the world is going is a scary place. Not in terms of wars and killing. That always happens, right? In terms of AI, where the world is going is a scary place for those people who are not educated in that platform, in that discipline, which is going to take over the world at some point. You're going to be left behind further and further and further. Oh, by the way, we have some fried chicken, please. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
And that was going to be my next segment when it comes to. I'm not the one for the buildings and the roads and the toll and the cars. The only way that our people, any African or a Caribbean diaspora, African diaspora nation, can help themselves is education. It's the only way. And in order for that to happen, our government has to have a zero tolerance and push education on all fronts, on all levels. This is the only way. I don't see any other way, because
I don't know what this is gonna sound bad, me saying this. I don't know what education means anymore. So what do I mean
But
by that?
education doesn't have to be Harvard, Princeton or Yale. I
Right.
mean,
No,
yeah.
what I mean is this: is that where AI is going,
Hmm.
I don't know what education means anymore. I'm talking to my nephew and niece about this. I'm trying to get them to disciplines which going to be relevant going forward, and it's very hard for me to figure out what those disciplines are.
Hmm.
Right? Because think about it. People going to jump around tonight quite a bit. I'm gonna jump around a bit, man, to try to focus, but I'm jumping around. I don't go to the doctor anymore without checking AI first. And if I go to the
Yeah.
doctor and they don't use AI, I don't want to use the doctor.
And you can also call in. They have virtual. You can call your doctor virtually now.
So Dr. Dan said, I stop Kranky. So I'm Dr. Dan. Dr. Dan said I should stop because he's saying, what are you talking about education? Now, education is not just you informing yourself. Education, you go to college for a given discipline. And the question is, what discipline are you going to pursue and how relevant discipline is? Dr. Dan, you go to Oracle, who says they're no longer hiring people coming to college to do coding and programming, right? Which are lucrative disciplines. Lucrative disciplines, people. Lucrative disciplines. They're not hiring them. This is not some chance thing. You guys are living in some backwards world and realize where the world is going. And it's going to hit like a ton of brick when it hits. Because you're not feeling the pain yet. The pain is going to happen. I was at a meeting the other day for a person I said this before, who's retiring, who I used to manage. And they retired. She's not even retirement age people. She's probably about in her 40s. She's retiring though. I guess she made enough money. But went to a retirement party, and they were talking about what they're going to do because she's an audit, right? An accountant audit. And one of her direct reports taking over a role was telling me what they're going to be doing. And I said to myself, okay, so the first year people, you won't need first year people anymore. You will not need first year people anymore in that discipline, because first year people do a lot of the ticking and tying and accumulating information. You don't need that anymore. You can do that in minutes. You don't need no person on there spending days and days doing it. It's totally crazy. Now, if you're a plumber or you are an electrician, your job is probably safe for a while. If you're doing some other discipline, I think you're in trouble. Some people think it's going to take 10, 15 years. No, it's not. Go ahead, German.
Kranky,
no, it's not.
No, but the thing is, I think it is going to take that, and it's going to take even longer. If you go look at, for instance, let's look at Jamaica. You look at Haiti. You go to countries like Ghana, Liberia, Nigeria. These countries, they're not the 30 years
No,
behind.
but see, you're conflating two things. There's a difference between the first world country and the third world. Adaptation will take longer in those third world countries. So they'll be spared longer, right? They'll be spared in certain areas longer. Adaptation won't take us long in the more first world countries. In the US, in the UK, it won't take us long. Now, the third world countries, it will take a little bit longer. But even there, okay, I'll give you an example. Call centers in Jamaica. Exactly.
Yeah.
The company I worked at, the other day, the company I worked at had some Google program that we program, which I can do 90%, 97% accuracy in terms of you calling in to then me give you information about your account, your retirement account. It's, yeah.
But Kranky, if you look at the other day, right? I was in Liberia, and I got my daughter. She was sick. We went to the hospital, and guess who was treating my daughter? Cuban doctors. Right?
Yeah.
We have Cuban doctors in Jamaica. What I'm saying is, at some point, our country got to get serious about education and push it. It's either we're gonna, like Cuba decided to say, you know what, they want most of their country, they want majority of their country to be educated, but they're gonna stick to when it comes to as far as something in the medical term, in the medical field. This is Cuban doctors is all over Africa. They're all over the Caribbean.
Well, they were an export for Cuba, right? I mean, the U.S. has destroyed Cuba. Let's be honest. The U.S. has destroyed Cuba. They sanctioned them because the way the U.S. work is 97% of the world's transactions done is U.S. dollar. They control the SWIFT system, which is the processing system. So you have to go through them so they can sanction people. That's why the BRICS countries are trying to work around it, which is very difficult to do. And so therefore, places like Cuba and Venezuela get squeezed because they can't do anything. They get destroyed. They're in the backward days because the U.S. destroyed them. Because they don't like their politics, so the U.S. destroyed them.
Correct. But see, the thing is, Kranky, when you look at, even with our federation, all right? So you look at our federation, When it comes, and this is why I say education is important, and these people know exactly what they're doing to dumb the masses down, right? For them is part of the issues, part of the problem. When you get your education at a overseas, or you get your education at a level in Jamaica where is pretty high, right? In order for you to educate the masses, you have to be willing to open up the books and show it to them, right? For us, is very slow process. It's a slow trickling process because, as I said, these things benefit those 10% or 5%, right?
Yeah.
And us that's in the diaspora sees it, right? And that's the thing, they try to put the diaspora Jamaicans against the Jamaicans back home. This is not this is by design. They're a part of these issues, because if you look at our football program, it's the same thing. Nobody is like all of this could, in a split second, the narratives could change.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah. Yep. There's a lot to digest there. A lot to
I mean,
digest.
it is. I don't think it's a lot, but you and I understand. Other people that's here understand. Back home, some understand, but majority, when you have like, what's this guy? I don't even listen to him because he's a cancer to the society. This Maverick, this guy is hard. I can't. There's no way I can listen to this guy.
No, you can listen to him. Maverick has opinions. Maverick, look. So here's how I view Maverick. Maverick is smart enough to realize that he can put out a video. He can get 30,000 people to watch it. They can watch it for 10 minutes. Can pick up a few $100s. If you do 10 videos, you can do the multiplication and see what you make the money, That's how it's a money-making game, It's not about, because if you're going to be on both sides of the fence, if you're going to blast YouTubers one day and then support YouTubers another day, then you're in it for the money, right? You're in it for the compensation. That's all you're in it for. You're not in it to educate, inform, help. You're in it for the resource, for the money part of it. So I would love to go on his channel and debate him. Here's why, people. So he says, here's a narrative that's run in Jamaica, which is very interesting. And he's not the only one running the narrative. The locally born players are more committed and they work harder and they run harder and they put in more effort. And they're saying, the coach is saying the same thing. Now, the coach is saying this because the coach is saying, this is going to sound bad. The players are not as educated as they should be when it comes to football. So they're going to use their physical attributes to play. And they talk about energy, right? And then he was speaking to somebody the other day when he called me out and he said, here's an example, Dixon, and the person mentioned Whisper and him call out somebody else. And I want to go through it with him player by player to tell him he's talking crap. He's talking nonsense. And I can prove it that he's talking nonsense in terms of who give effort and who doesn't give effort. Because here's the fallacy in the reasoning, people. If I tell you that Hayden doesn't put out the same amount of energy as Dixon does, right? Let's say 1 for 1. Then the first question you should ask me is, okay, how do you assess that? How do you determine that? And I said, well, I see him and Dixon run hard. I said, how does Hayden play? So because Hayden's not born in Jamaica, he doesn't put that effort. My first question is going to be, how does Hayden play for his club? Is his mannerism, the way he plays, the speed he plays, is it the same or is it different? Because when he's playing for his money, he's playing different play for Jamaica, then you may have some argument there. Secondly, is it that because some players are educated some way in football, they realize how they have to manage their game, how they have to interpret a play, how they have to assess a pass being made, how they have to intercept a ball without just running around like they are mad people, without looking at right? There's a lot of different ways to think about it.
But Kranky, this is why I say to you again, education is very important. When you have a person like Maverick that understand the plight of our people, they use that to their advantage. All our leaders do it. It's like this dumbing down of our people, and they get them so wild up over nonsense.
Yeah, but I'm saying he uses these things as his basis without any quantifiable evidence to
Nothing.
substantiate his position, nothing except his opinion. And people say, yes, I see it. And that's why people are all in Dixon, because Dixon does work hard when he's on the field. But I asked the people this. Somebody came on my YouTube, 2 people did, and said, why am I bringing up stats? Stats are not important. And I just said, I can't have a conversation with you because you don't understand what you're talking about. Yeah.
But this, Kranky, how these players in the Premier League and all these top tier leagues, how you think they qualify as far as making this certain amount of money? It's not just by the eye test. It's everything is stats. Even when you look at the stock market right now, it's not just they have different computers doing all of this, generating different stocks.
Yeah, I mean, and people don't realize that information is almost life nowadays, right? Everything's about stats. When you go to the doctor, people, it's about stats. It's about numbers. When they look at everything that informs you, whether it's your blood pressure, whether it's your AC1, it's all about numbers. Where were you 6 months ago versus today? I know because I go to the doctor quite a bit nowadays. When they go to do my eye surgery, they mess up my eye. They measure it, and they measure it wrong. It's stats, it's numbers, it's information. So the people who are left behind and can't think for themselves, people at Maverick can influence them because they can't think for themselves. Not saying that's everybody, but a lot of them. They can't think for themselves.
It's a lot. I think it's probably about 60% of the people. And they know, as I said, these folks know what they're doing. Let me ask you a quick question, Kranky. The other day when, what's his name? Our press, Dennis Chung was on the show that you were on, right? King's show. No, actually, he was on Ryan's show. I apologize. And he said that when he first took over the JFF, they didn't have a budget. Do you find that criminal? Do you find that hard to believe? Or do you find that it's not a mistake why they didn't have a budget?
So I have been fortunate enough to have a lot of conversation with Dennis, both on and off the air, per se, if you want to call YouTube the air. And I was extremely happy when Dennis joined the JFF. You know what? To answer your question first, yes, it's heresy. They didn't have a budget. In fact, it makes no sense. And that's probably they were under financial restriction by FIFA because they were just doing whatever they want with the money. I'm not saying people are corrupt people.
But do you think it's by mistake? I'm just asking.
No, it's not by mistake. It's not by mistake. So let me just say this.
Okay.
There are people complaining vehemently, vigorously, losing their mind about Dennis being in the organization. Because Dennis brought structure, Dennis brought standard, Dennis brought governance, Dennis brought organization, Dennis brought his learning from the corporate environment where things are done with certain protocol in terms of how you operated. And there were people, especially the parish presidents, who hated that, who hated Dennis like a poison because they weren't getting doled out the money supposed to do what they want to do, when they want to do it. And they all would want to beat Dennis to death about this. And Dennis wasn't having it. Now, there are other complaints I get about Dennis from other people. But Dennis was holding people accountable and was protecting the money like it's his money. The people who are spending the money there, it's not like how it's their money. I'm not saying anybody's corrupt, people. So don't say I say anybody's corrupt. Because I'm going to give you an example, people. You can do something inappropriate, but it's not illegal, right? And it's not stealing. So I'll give you an example. If you fly first class from Jamaica to the US to attend a game, and you buy the best ticket, go in the box, that may be allowable by the JFF. I don't think FIFA would. I think FIFA would front on it. But is that a good way to spend somebody's money? To spend money for the JFF when you say you have money problems, right? Those are the examples I want to give. So I'm not saying anybody's corrupt because you could take advantage of the situation because you have no standards, you have no policies and procedures, you have no protocol. You just do what you want to do. Dennis was not appreciated by the JFF. Let me just say that he was not appreciated. Because he wants to help people to a certain standard, which they don't want to be held accountable. So I'm not surprised they had no budget.
Okay.
That's why they had financial problems.
Yeah, but my thing is this, Kranky, when you look at the health of a company, you look at who's in charge of the finance, right?
Yeah.
Because anything that you do, you can have the ideas to this roof, but you're going to need funding, right? And when Dennis left, I said, you know what, let me see if this program is serious by the next hiring. who's going to replace Dennis. And this program is not serious.
Yeah, I mean, they brought in who's not a GenSec. They brought in a new GenSec. Yeah, I mean, they're gonna keep.
They hired a new one. Or
No, the same one. The interim one is gonna be the permanent one. You know how that works. It's an old boys network.
But that's what I'm saying. It's an old boys club. That's what I'm saying, Kranky. And this is what, when you come across program like yours, programs like JD, program like King. Well, King is young. He's still learning. I appreciate it because you guys are able to see what's going on and put the facts out there and let the public do what it do. If they're gonna, you can put the facts out there, and it's up to them to research it and read about it, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, Kranky, I end on this. For me, I could care less about a road, a highway, a building. That's nothing. That's not gonna get my people to the next level. What's gonna get my people is education. And education is broad. It doesn't matter if it's trade or getting a master's or a doctorate. I could care less. But my people need that, and they deserve that.
No, all right. Thanks, Determined. Appreciate the call, sir.
No problem.
Bless up. Yeah, I mean, I think people are mistaken when I said education, what education means, and I hear Dr. Dan say stop. No, what I mean is there's a couple of things. One is everybody should get educated, right? Education helps you to think and make good decisions. It's not just about the vocation you're going to pursue. It's how you make decisions throughout the entirety of your life. The more informed you are, to me, the more you make better decisions. The question does arrive, though, in terms of, Dr. Dan, you say I should stop. What should I stop doing?
Hey, Kranky.
Yes, good night.
I can't be too loud. My girlfriend is night shift tonight, so she's sleeping. So I have to.
I thought you were going to tell me you don't wear the pants in the house. But anyway, go on.
It's okay, man. Listen.
You run yours. You don't run yours. Hey, somebody teach me one day about that, and I'm going to say, yes, run yours. Run yours. Go ahead.
I would gladly say this on your program. I'm a feminist. I believe in equality. So
okay. All right. I believe in equality too. So long as I'm I'm the one in charge. But go ahead.
I'm still the one in charge. I'm still the one. I'm still the one in charge.
Okay. You think so? Yeah, you think so until you have to spend the money. But go ahead.
I do want to say, I listened to your last caller's point, and I agree with some of the things he said. Few things I do say on the part of Jamaica. I do think that he's saying there's corruption in Jamaica, right? And I don't want to just necessarily say it's just Jamaica. There's corruption everywhere, right? But it's just amplified, exacerbated because we are fed up with it, right? So like let's say for instance, a majority of my friends are from Nigeria, right? Let's look at the FIFA World Cup. The reason why they're in trouble right now to make the FIFA World Cup, apparently what the Nigerian president is doing is stealing money from the Nigerian.
Not surprising.
Exactly, right?
Not surprising.
So it's just every country has that issue, right? But I won't necessarily say, in Jamaica, even here, there's corruption. You look at Trump. If you hate Trump, he goes after you. Look at all these people he's going after because you hate them. It's corruption everywhere. Just that some people are bigger than some are more bigger than some based on the size of your country and how popular your country is. Another thing I would
but one thing on the Trump thing actually, which is I think what Trump has done. It's really interesting. What Trump has actually done is show the hypocrisy in the American society in a myriad of ways. I'm doing a show next week on this. The hypocrisy permeates the society, and what Trump has shown is that the hypocrisy is almost, I'm not going to say it's innate, but it's almost like it's innate, but it was so covert you couldn't see it, and he just bring it out into the open.
Well, you know what, Kranky? I'm sorry, but a lot of Trump voters are illiterate, uneducated. Trump doesn't understand it, but he's a puppet. He's a tool. Trump doesn't know anything. He listens to people around him. If you listen to his press conference, listen to how he talk. He doesn't have that persona that a president will have. Like you listen to Obama speak. He can just like he commands the room. He has that like charisma.
I'm gonna disagree. I'm gonna disagree with you. I'm gonna disagree with you. Obama is a facade. Obama has no substance.
I don't.
So we're gonna disagree, right? So I'd love to debate this point.
Okay, tell me why you think he's a facade.
Trump may be evil, but he gets things done. Obama was in the White House for the first 2 years. He controlled the Congress. He controlled the Supreme Court. He controlled everything. He can get a damn thing done except ACA. Nothing done except ACA.
Okay. Kranky. All right. Yeah, that was my argument. This was 2008, 2010, right? When we were in office. Yeah. I remember this. I was an undergrad around that time. You and I know that I'd never thought I would live to this country to see a black man. So no matter, even though you have the House and the Senate, they're going to be pushback. There was a lot of pushback on the things that he wanted to do. You do know that a lot of his skin color matters a lot in a lot of things that he didn't get to do.
Obama is a fake. Obama just talks a lot. He's a fake.
No,
Obama deport more people than Biden and Trump probably put together.
He did deport by 11 million
Obama's the
people.
one who destroyed Libya. Obama is a fake. Obama's the one when they had the rise up in the Middle East, support the rise up, and then they destroy places like Libya, which is a beer, just not a country that doesn't exist anymore. When it was a country that was striving and making progress, and they want to get rid of the US dollar, they killed Gaddafi, they got rid of Libya, they destroyed the country, and they walked out and said, "Oh yeah, that's my problem." Go look at Obama's history, people. I mean, Obama gets a lot of credit from the black Americans or Jamaicans, blacks in general in the world, because he's articulate. He's the only thing given Obama's presidency is that he became a multimillionaire. Man, it was a waste of time. Waste of time.
No.
Waste of time.
No. Kranky.
Hey, the man. Obama didn't endorse Kamala Harris when it first came out. Obama plays these games. Didn't endorse her. Who's he going to endorse? He didn't endorse her for the longest. He's like Hakeem Jeffries not endorsing Mandan until last. He realized, you know what? I better endorse him. His mask get kicked. He didn't endorse him. We play these games, and these are not games. These are people's lives. Obama didn't do a damn thing for anybody except himself. People, I get a lot of grief from my friends about this because they want to support the one black president who's smart, who's articulate. Man, it's a waste of time. At least Trump knows. At least Trump is getting things done. And yes, the establishment.
Wait, Kranky. I listened to you.
No. He's getting
on this channel.
Yeah,
Kranky, I listened to you on this channel.
Yeah,
months after months, where you were beating Trump and his followers.
You have got me right. Wait. Back up. You're missing my point. I despise Trump. You're missing my point, people. Meaning, I'm opposed to Trump, but he's getting things done for the people who want him trying to appease. Except you're helping them with inflation. You're helping the farmers. You're helping the people who support him, because you said some of them are dumb as a doorknob. But at least he's getting done what the billionaires want to get done. He's getting it. He's reducing their taxes.
Okay.
Right? That's the point I'm making. I don't support Trump. Are you smoking, Dr. Dan?
No, I don't know. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you're supporting Trump. It's just that, like, I feel like the way I use, how is Trump? Okay, let's take a look at it right now. Food is up. Economy is doing bad. Right? Listen.
Yeah.
He has the lowest rate. He has the lowest rating right now. What's going on? He's very petty. He's going after people he doesn't like. Look at the New York AG. Several. If he doesn't like you, okay. The recent CDC, the recent doctor, the CDC doctor, he wanted to change the vaccine schedule, and they didn't agree with him. He fired. Then they hired another one, and they said no, that's not scientific based. Fire her. What is this man is doing but being a dictator?
Okay, but exactly, that's what he wants to be, and he's getting things done as a dictator. That's my point. You can be evil and be effective for you and your constituent. That's the point I'm making. Was Obama effective for his constituent?
Yes, I believe so. He did.
Who was he effective for? Not me.
Okay, so all right. So okay, the Obamacare that he put into, which is what's right now is what's quote unquote doing the lockdown, right? Because Democrats want certain things in Obamacare, and then Republicans want to do rid of it. Obamacare, when it first came out, it was shaky, but it was okay, right? That's one of these things. I do believe that he united the country. He did unite the country a little bit. That's arguably it. The economy was not bad when he was there. The economy was pretty stable. I think, did he balance the budget that year? I think it was Bill Clinton, the last person about the budget.
All right. So let's go back to revisionist history, people. Obama became president because of the 2007 financial crisis. That's why he became president. The only reason why he became president. It had nothing to do with Obama and how suave he was. America was blown up by Wall Street. Okay, having these mortgage-backed securities, you're in finance, blew up the world, people mortgages. So the world blew up. People needed to change. He displaced Clinton. He became the president. He was president for 2 terms, right? he had a chance to make some changes and to do some things futuristic and to do some things that would have supported those economically disadvantaged, including like a brown people. He ain't do nothing. He ain't do nothing. People. We keep putting these people on pedestal because they're so articulate and they're eloquent and they're verbose and loquacious. I'm not impressed. Show me what you do. It's like people talking about Dixon and his stats. He ain't got no stats to show. He ain't got no stats to show.
Kranky, I pose this question to you, Kranky. Right?
Yeah.
Within the last 30 years, right?
Yes.
Within the last 30 years, who would you say is the United States' best president in your opinion and or accomplishment?
It's hard, and here's why. Well, no. So let's put them in categories. Who has been the most effective in terms of their own agenda versus being best for the American people? Now, some people would probably tell you Bill Clinton was, but then a lot of black men would say no because he just sent us to jail like crazy, him and Biden and all of them, right? But for the general population and given the economic environment, you probably could say Clinton. If you think of the last 30 years, right? You had the two Bushes. You had Bush before Clinton. He had one term. Then you had the other Bush subsequent to Clinton who went to Iraq. I think he was involved 2007 when he got pushed out, right? Well, not got pushed out, but his time was up. And Obama came in. So I wouldn't say Bush. I'd probably say Clinton over the last 30 years. I don't think Obama was effective.
Okay, so I do agree.
But in terms of getting your agenda done, it's been Trump with the help of McConnell. Because McConnell gave him the Supreme Court, which then tell him he's immune from prosecution, which then say he can go kill people in the Caribbean and he want to on boats and he can get away with it. Which then he can do any damn thing he wants to do and get away with it. Yes.
I do. Okay, so I do agree with, for me, the most effective president was Bill Clinton. Even though he got impeached, he got blocked in what he did. But I do agree with that. He was also the last person to balance the budget. And back in the late to early 2000s, when the dollar was so high, it was like 2-to-1 to European dollars. Now it's almost like it's. Yes, I do agree on that aspect of it. So, but I also don't think that. I personally don't think that.
No, DC Obama won because of the 2007 financial crisis. Elections are done based on even year-end notice. He won because of the financial crisis 2007 when America blew up and people lost their homes. I didn't say he got elected in 2007. 2007 gave him the presidency. That's when we had the financial crisis. I was on Wall Street then, so I'm very familiar with that situation. Go ahead.
Yeah, I remember that. I was an undergrad. I remember that year. It was good. But yeah, I do agree with you. But another point I wanted to make, the last caller, Kranky. He said that Jamaicans mindset, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I also kind of disagree with him.
Mindset in terms. Oh, he said Jamaica mindset in terms of what?
I don't remember exactly what he was saying. He was saying that why he hasn't seen much changes because of the mindset of people in Jamaica. All right. So I've said this before on this channel, Kranky. I went to medical school in Howard University, and I would say about 80% of the doctors went to UWI, and about 80% of them are Jamaicans. Very intelligent, right? A lot of them run away from Jamaica because of what they've seen is saying is backwardness. They actually want to progress. So that may have set to that guy argument, yes. But the thing is that the people, them, like me and you, who's in power, actually want changes, actually want to see things done. It's just the older heads is going on like that. But you can also say the same thing about here, because if you look at the politicians here, they're career politicians been in office for like 50, 60, 70 years, right? So they want to make change, because think about it. If I bring Kranky in, and Kranky my friend, and Kranky gonna bring in Jurash gonna bring in this, we're gonna infiltrate the space of our own people, and they don't want us to do that. So I do agree with that. But I don't think it's just strictly mindset. The people that want change. I've seen it. First time I went to Jamaica, I was like, man, I look around, I go to New Kingston, I look at this place, I'm like, wow. The things that I see there, it's like I'm back in the United States in certain places. A lot of Jamaicans actually westernized now, more is moving on the American side of things, right? And as you can see, that's going on now. Like technology is booming in Jamaica and all these things. So I think the problem is because we're so far back, we don't have a lot. It's taking longer time than it seems.
Yeah, look, Jamaica's biggest benefactor is the USA. Jamaica's biggest detriment is the USA. Right? Sound like a contradiction. And what I mean by that, so the USA tourism and remittances probably comprise over 60% of Jamaica GDP. And if you add in all Jamaica export to the US, probably about 70-something%, which means if the U.S. catch pneumonia, Jamaica is dead, right? No, it's a fact. U.S. catch Jamaica, Jamaica gone. That's why Jamaica kiss up to the U.S. so much, because if you look at recently when Netanyahu was going to speak at the UN and 70 plus countries walk out, Jamaica didn't walk out because the government realized, you know what, we got to kiss up to the U.S. so we can't afford to walk out. Why is it Jamaica's the biggest detriment for Jamaica? Because it controls Jamaica in different ways. But the most significant one is the brain drain, right?
Yeah.
When you are exporting intellectual capital, the intellectual capital is not giving you the benefit that when you export something, if you export some goods, you're going to get money back. You export, you develop the capital, you develop it in your own country. You spend money, you spend resources, you spend time and develop it, and it goes away, and it may come back in form of remittance in some respects, but you lose that intellect, which has been exported. So what happens is you have less intellect on the island. People won't like you saying this. You have less intellect on the island because if you export something, you have less of it. And you have a small group of elite who want to control the place, and they love it. Now, the people who have been exported, some may want to come back, but you create barriers for them to come back. And then they get comfortable where they are, or they create the barriers. And even when Jamaica developed intellect capital in Jamaica, look at the finance minister. Look at the person who was supporting the prime minister in terms of communication, who's now going to run communication for the Atlanta airport, Jackson Airport, one of the biggest airports in the US, probably the biggest, or finance minister who went to the UN, wherever he went to, World Bank, sorry, not UN. That's what I'm talking about. Even people in Jamaica who are doing work in Jamaica get exported. So it's very hard for a country to be sustainable educationally with its best people are being picked left and center. Think you have a football team. Let's do the football analogy. You have Arsenal, you have our best players. And then somebody come and take Gabriel, and they take Saliba, and then take Rice, and they take Saka. It's hard to replace those players. And even if you find a replacement, they may not be as good. And this is a continuum, people. They take the teachers, they complain about who they want. So they don't want you to have the people who are just regular on the street to come do work. They want to send they want the doctors and the lawyers and the teachers and the nurses. That's what they want. So those countries then are scrambling to find competent people to support their population because the US is rating them for it, and England is rating them, and Canada is rating them. So the first world countries are complaining about immigration. They're the one destroying those countries when they pick off the best people in those countries, and that's all they want to do. And then they whine and complain about their jobs being taken. And here's the thing about those countries too, Dr. Dan. Their population growth have stagnated or receding. Europe in general, America in general, and for you to support a population, especially in the US, that has a huge post-World War II population who are now retiring, somebody got to pay for their retirement. Somebody got to pay for a lot of their social services. It's the people who are producing to pay taxes going to do that. I'm not sure why people don't seem to understand these things. Huh?
But Kranky, the brain drain is so evident in the African diaspora, right? Let me give you an example. Do you know that if you come to this country from Africa or wherever, and you do STEM, science, engineering, all that stuff, the government will file for you to stay here? My friend, who I went to medical school, he's a plastic surgeon, not even legal in this country. The hospital filed for him to stay. You know how much money they have to per I don't know if it changed now, but I know per person you have to pay like $10,000 or something like that.
I think Trump not changed to 100,000. I think it's 100,000. I gotta pay.
But the problem is like the brain. They want to keep these people away from you. So what happened is your country, like you said, gets stagnated and it can't move. Yep. But my question is though, for Jamaica in a sense, how do we rectify this? Because Kranky, I'm telling you, some of the smartest people I've seen at Howard, man, these Jamaicans, and I'm saying, Kranky, I ask them a question, always have an answer for me. And the answer is right when I look it up. It's like AI in person.
Yeah, because a lot of them get educated in Jamaica where the education system is a elitist system. What do I mean? They get weeded out, right? So when you go to high school, you take an exam to go to high school, and then you go to the best high school if you're smart, and then you take exam at fifth form or whatever it is now, and you go to college because you only have so much places, and they're the ones who come in overseas to go to school. So they have to spend a lot of time investing in themselves educationally. So when they come to the US, school is not that hard. School is much easier. If they invest in themselves like they do there, it ain't that hard. They can get it done.
It's true. Yeah, it's true because one of the doctors used to say that the way how they used to do things in Jamaica was much harder. So when he come here, it's so easy. You can do like, how in Jamaica you can do one things with that. Here he can do 4 or 5 things in less than 30 minutes versus there. So I think the problem is, though, I think the government has to do a better job in keeping its talents in the country. Right?
It can't. Dr. Don, if I'm going to pay you, you know how much money you make. You make a lot of money. But anyway, if I'm going to give you $50,000 in Jamaica and I'm going to give you $250,000 in the US, where would you go?
US.
Oh, okay. Even if the cost of living is much higher, it doesn't matter.
But look at the thing, though. But that's also hurting the society, because if you don't have qualified people who qualified people who know what they're doing, when somebody gets sick in Jamaica, they're not going to want to go there. They're looking at deathbed, right?
I know. That's why AI is important. That's why AI is important.
Kranky, don't go to that. Kranky, listen.
I'm telling you.
Who makes AI? Kranky, who makes AI? Who makes AI?
Who makes AI? There's a lot of people who have AI intellect or experience that make AI, and they all get hired up by Meta.
Who feeds AI the information?
Yeah, the university feeds. The university develop people who then can produce the AI. The thing that you have now is this, though, is that where you have lack of stuff. I'll give you an example. The people who, when I was in Jamaica way back when, you couldn't get a phone in Jamaica, right? You had landline phones. You couldn't get a phone. It takes forever to get a phone. You get a phone is a big deal, right? Jamaica skipped that whole thing to go to cell phones. They don't have to have the same infrastructure. Correct? It's going to be the same thing with AI for some of those countries. That's why everybody think that AI won't be permanent, will take long in those countries. Don't realize you're going to skip a whole generation of infrastructure stuff that you didn't have and go straight to the AI.
For real. AI is here for real. I heard my CEO of the hospital talking about AI. It's real.
I'm going to give you an example, people. This is a personal example. I'm having some problems now with my eye. I just had cataract surgery, and doctors mess up my eye, right? Mess up my eye. Meaning, I'm gonna give you an example. I was gonna do a show on this, but I probably save it for next week. I'm gonna give you a synopsis of this. I've had LASIK before, way back when, right? So you have LASIK to improve your vision, trying to get 20/20, your eyes fading, and they're going to cut on the cornea, they scrape on the cornea, you can see better, right? Now, when you go in now to have cataract surgery, what they do is this. They will do a calculation based on some software they have, predetermined calculation. The calculation is different for those who have had LASIK and those who have not had LASIK. They'll do the calculation, right? It's a standardized calculation. However, like everything else, like you have in finance, they call something called black swan. There may be some people. What black swan is an event that you may not anticipate, a 1 in 100,000 year event that may occur, which if you don't take it into consideration, may be a problem when it does occur because you have made plans for it. When they do my calculation for LASIK, it differs if I didn't have LASIK. However, I think my cornea is a little bit different. So their calculation was wrong because the doctor keep telling me my calculation is right. So I said, you know what? Me and Chat at a long discussion. I said, Chat, look, I have some problems here. Because I had the high surgery. The man promised me 20/20 and like a 20/50 me have. I can't say nothing. It's the wrong thing. Give me the wrong, can't say nothing. You know the wrong things. I say it can't be right.
You know the problem with that, Kranky, too? Because ophthalmology is one of the high praised field, which is kind of shocking that that will happen to you.
Wait. He says the 98% accuracy. So I thought I'm going to be the 98%. 90% of the people. So 90 to 100 people do this, would be fine. So let me just finish this quickly. Let me finish this quickly. So I spent time with him, and then here's what the doctor did, people. He knock on wood. Like my doctor knock on wood, people. And Chat now knock on wood, by the way. My doctor knock on wood, we start getting nervous. That's ranted. I look the man knock for. But anyway, so so we've been going just for a while. And he passed me on to another doctor, right? Who I'm like, okay, you passed me a doctor. That means you can't figure it out. And he was confident. By the way, before I went in, he was talking big and talking confident. I mean, I trust. I hate to say this, but I'm not trust doctor people. Even though Dr. Dami ever said this, but I'm not trust nobody. I'm not trust nobody.
Is he black?
No, he's not black. But he's nice. He's a nice doctor, though.
That's where you went wrong, Kranky. You gotta get a black.
I can't. No, because we can't find none. But anyway, let's keep going quickly, people. So he passed me to another doctor. So what I've been doing, because I always, before me even go to another doctor, me and AI sit down for a long time. I go through this, and AI, me ask him every test. Have you do an OCT test? Have you do refracture? Have you done this? Have you done that? Have you done that? Because the AI asked me, I'm doing it. So he's another doctor. Now the other doctor I want to know. He's doing some other. They tell me exactly what's wrong, and we know what's wrong. But everything that he told me AI already told me this. I swear, people, even more than that, he said he wants to do surgery. AI says, no, don't do surgery yet. You need 3 to 6 months to make your eye heal before you do the surgery. My consultant, and you should think about this, because you can figure out these things. And I'm not saying you shouldn't go to your doctor. Don't say I'm saying that. No one better come sue me. But you should always get 1, 2, or 3 different opinions before you make some big decisions relating to your health. That's my philosophy. And one of the people may I engage with, I'm going to say people. One of the things that may I engage a tool, may I use AI. Me now leave AI in my back pocket. Me can carry it with me anywhere I go. I use AI. Because the doctor didn't tell me anything. AI gave me more than he gave me. I swear, the checklist he gave me, and I asked him, I said, give me all the printout. Give me the printout. I ran it through AI, and AI came back with all the suggestion and advice. And he was right for 90% of them. There may be a 10% difference when I talk to him about. But I walked away being overly impressed. And here's why I'm thinking about Dr. Dan. And you know this, Dr. Dan, because you've been using AI. A doctor cannot know everything about everything. He or she may have a ton of experience and is brilliant, but the AI is going to take that doctor knowledge and add about 1,000 more, a million more upon it, and like summarize it. Yeah, it's a library of information which is summarized for you. Yeah, I'm going to use AI. If I'm going to cook something, I use AI to do it. But I do not without AI.
Yo, Kranky, when I'm doing a research, I just put a topic in and said, give me a topic on this, and a whole bunch of stuff coming and summarize it.
Of course.
So to your point, what I'm saying is, Kranky, I personally use AI, but what I want to say is, though, think about it. AI, okay, so I got offered a job by a company who's a computer engineer company who's making medical stuff. So they're doing these AI, and they want me as a doctor to make sure the information is correct that they're going to put in the data.
Yep.
So what I'm saying is, it's like AI is going to be the thing, you're right, but they need a human factor, like me, myself.
No, but here's what you're missing, Dr. Dan. Here's what you're missing. To set it up, they need you, and they need to double check and triple check to make sure it's right. But after they set it up and it's done, they don't really need you afterwards. They need you because humans being have to set this up, right? They have to put it in place. And you have to check and double check and triple check because when they put it in, it's going to be there, so you got to make sure it's right. It's like any program you do. It's like I used to be in finance. It's like you write up a program for trading, for example. You have to make sure it's right because you make a mistake and it's embedded in the system and it sits there and it's wrong. At some point, you're going to feel the pain of it. So the system has to be built in such a way where you have the experts telling you it's right. They'll double and triple check. They will try to factor even the human element into the system to make sure it's right. But after that's done and it's embedded, why do I need a doctor?
Yeah, Kranky, I argue against that because even though AI have the information, you still need to go to a doctor who's going to do the physical exam. Think about it. Remember this, right?
Yes.
Let me finish. We talked about this yesterday. You said, let's look at Karen Dixon, right? You have the statistics and you have the eye test, right?
Yes.
When a patient come in front of me, Kranky, so if you come in front of me, I come in the office, I said, hey, Kranky, how you doing? What brought you in, right? And like you mentioned, I said, I saw you 2 weeks ago. How you been feeling since 2 weeks ago, right? And I look at you and I look at you as, man, Kranky, you look sick. But when I run your lab, your image, you don't look sick. Your lab image said otherwise, right? AI can't do that, right?
Oh, wait. Let people, we get, Dr. Dan, be careful, Dr. Dan. Be careful with that. I agree with you. There are some, I'm going to call it non-objective things or more subjective things, which AI doesn't have the human element to do. But we have to be careful in that because it's all about information. The patient is going to give you information, right? And you're going to use that information to give them some response about their situation, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So the AI may have more information than you do to figure out what's wrong with them than you could figure out. Because the doctor is depending on the patient to tell them how they feel and what's wrong with them. Then the doctor take that information and run some tests to figure out what may be the problem with that patient, correct?
Yeah.
The doctor is dependent on the patient because the patient will give the doctor information he can't do it. It's all about information. So if I give the AI the same information, it should be giving me back what the doctor would give me. Now, you may say, but you're missing the optics, Kranky, right? Maybe we have a system where I don't have a doctor. We have a system where the robot I go step on something to look at my physical dimensions, my physical form, how I'm looking to supplement that whole assessment and diagnosis process versus a human being doing it. And in fact, the system may be able to pick up more than the person can pick up because the system is not going to be distracted. The doctor may have some problem with his wife at home and now focus on me. The system only focus on you. That's it. I'm telling you, everybody's
I mean,
replaceable, including doctors.
I think that's one profession. I think there's certain professions that AI. Well, first of all, I think AI
Give
can
me
help.
give me an example. Give me an example. Give me an
I think
example.
AI can help in all professions. All professions,
Yes.
AI can help.
Yes.
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 But there's also some professions that AI can get rid of. But I don't think doctors are one of those professions that AI is gonna get rid of. First of all, not everybody gonna want to go to a doctor and want to be speaking to AI. If that's the case, you would stay at home.
That's true.
You would stay at home, right? You would stay at home, right? You want the humanistic point of view where yes. So I think that's one profession that AI will not get rid of. It will help, yes, that's true. Because even Kranky, even me as a doctor, right? I sit here, something wrong with me, I just go into my AI system and just put my symptoms and pick out something.
I'm telling you, you know, Dr. Dan, I agree with you, right? There's some things you want a human beings to do, but at some point, when the generation flips, those people are gonna. It's like us with us now in social media, all those things we're doing, and the older people versus the kids. Kids don't watch TV. We still watch. I don't watch regular TV, but my nephews and nieces don't watch TV. They never watch TV. I can't watch them on the small screen. I get frustrated watching football on small screen. They don't watch TV.
Yeah, I don't watch TV. That's true. They don't want. That's why a lot of company moving toward. That's why YouTube and streaming now is more important. You see these bigger CNN, all that stuff. They have these online. They get their subscribers, so they're moving. No, I do totally agree with you. I listen. I use AI, right? A patient coming to me would say something. I'm like, oh, I forgot how. Sometimes you don't see something in a long time.
Right.
I said, okay. Say for instance, you come into me, right, Kranky, something unusual. Think about it. Us as doctors, right? It's like repetition. You see something every day, you know what to do. Click, 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 quickly. But something you haven't seen in maybe 2 years, whatever. Boom, AI. Oh, I trigger you. So yes, I use AI for that. It's true.
No, somebody put in here prostitutes. We have people who are just minds are in the gutter. Go ahead. AI can be prostitute. Okay, robots can be prostitute. But anyway, we won't go there. We'll leave that alone. Yeah. Leave that alone.
No, but I do. But what I do think though, Kranky, is that I think that the education system here though is too expensive, and they're gonna have to reform that, because with the AI coming up now, people can stay home and just program. Somebody can teach you just program. Because for me to get a doctorate degree here, you're looking at $300,000. I have a friend who graduated with $500,000 in loans, right?
$500,000 in loans?
Yeah.
Wow.
No, Kranky, think about it, right? You go to 4 years of undergrad, right? And then you have to get your master's, right? That's 2 years. And then you do 4 years of medical school, right? That's what? 10 years. And most people, they don't have money to pay for undergrad. You're paying for loans, right? Kranky, that loans, and then the interest add up on it. And then, so all that stuff is going like that. But with AI coming in now, it helps a lot of people. It's a lot of companies benefiting from AI, because what they're doing now, they're cutting costs, they're cutting overhead. So it's helping. So now
I'm telling you, it's material. People are cutting jobs like crazy. I had somebody the other day. I was in Georgia, right, in June, and he said he's building a house in Guyana, and he needs an architect to do it. I'm like, why do you need an architect? Go and chat. He went and chat and come back and told me, you know what? I have my design. I don't need an architect. I've designed the house I wanted. Chat gave it to me, every single element of what I want, the whole specification. I'm telling you, people. And here's the worst thing about this, Dr. Dan, people don't realize. So when politicians are talking in any country, they talk about the middle class, right? They don't really care about poor people. They talk about middle class, right? The middle class are the first getting hurt by AI the most. That is the contradiction in all of this. The middle class is going to get slaughtered by AI. And people don't seem to realize. And that's a whole different ball game. Right? So because when I go to most stores, I see black and brown people doing some of this work that AI ain't doing. And I saw the middle class coming in nice fancy cars, and they're these disciplines. A lot of them going to get squeezed. I'm telling you, it's not going to be pretty. And people, and you guys used to watch this podcast. It's called The Diary of a CEO. The kid from England who owns that company does a really good job of interviewing a lot of people from a lot of different disciplines. He interviewed Klopp the other day. He interviews a lot of AI persons who are like the father of AI, who started at Google. Their predictions are scary. Even Schmidt from Google, he used to run Google, he was on a podcast today talking about AI and the implication of AI. It's not funny, actually. It is a world where we have never seen before. It's a paradigm shift, and it's an ugly shift, a real ugly shift.
No, Kranky, listen, no, I disagree. I think people now, Kranky, is getting smarter. We're gone are the days where we're getting pushover, so people are finding ways to make money to get.
Yeah, but here's the problem, Dr. Dan. People don't
Yes.
understand, Dr. Dan. Here's what people are missing. So if I'm using automation to do transactions, not to transaction, to do produce things, because they say China is big in China, right? To produce goods and services, right? I'm using automation to do it. Who owns that automation if people are not doing it? What jobs are people going to have? Then how does society do trade to generate economic activity to move money around? I don't get it. People talking about giving people stipend. Who wants no damn stipend? Right? So that's the problem you have, which is you need people to make money so you can have trade, not necessarily barter, trade in currency, so then money can be moved from one person to the next that generate economic activity, so you generate taxation and all that. How does society work if the robots and the AI is doing everything? How does that work? It doesn't make any sense. That's what I'm saying. It's a paradigm shift. Because when you move from agrarian to industrial society to technology now, you still have people doing stuff. And you having the engagement, the conversation, the trading, the bartering. How does that work going forward? I don't know.
But you know what, though, Kranky, listen to this. Do you remember when everybody's take Ozempic to lose weight?
Yeah.
So what they used to do, so you have to be, so I used to write Ozempic to my patients, and a lot of them didn't get qualified. Insurance would give it to them because you have to, I'll put in the line that they've tried for 1 year, didn't lose weight. Even though they didn't, they'll get denied.
Wait. They took Ozempic and didn't lose weight? Really?
No. What I'm saying with Ozempic, right? A lot of people wanted to take Ozempic to lose weight because Ozempic, I had somebody who lost 50 pounds in 1 month Ozempic. You lose muscle mass, and Serena Williams is taking.
Oh, yeah, she did. Yes.
Yeah. So here's what happened is though, a lot of people, because what a lot of people used to do, they get denied by it. So they go to Canada and get the compound version where they send it to you hard and you just mix it yourself and inject yourself once a week.
Oh,
Guess what the government did? The government regulate that. That's what they're gonna do to AI. They're gonna regulate AI and chat. They're gonna do something like that. So now you can. So like my friend who was also a doctor, what he was doing, he found a company in Canada that was important to him, and he expressed, and he sold a compound version here in the US for $200. So he would make about like $100 in profit. So they regulated for him now, and he got a weight loss clinic. He can no longer do that. So the problem.
Yeah, and look, there's discussion about AI, but here's the thing. The problem with AI is this: as you're talking about cross-border arbitration, you're going to have that problem. You don't want to be left behind. So if you want to regulate it and restrict your country and where you go, somebody else is moving ahead. How are you going to compete? That doesn't work, right? Because people want to go where the opportunities are.
I know, no, this is true. But what I'm saying, I do feel like, though, Kranky, in my heart of heart, because AI is moving so fast and a lot of companies using it, people are going to start complaining, getting laid off, and the economy going to take a hit. They're going to regulate it somehow. And then, so, because I'm telling you, I saw where, like, literally, you don't even, I'm going to certain office. I don't even have anybody in the front of the office. They have a program there to do everything for myself. I'm like, that's because that's cutting jobs for people, and you need jobs in the country. So
we're going to wake up one day and realize that, whoa, what the hell happened? I'm telling you, it's happening so fast, but so slow. It's not noticeable now, but it's going to hit one day. He's going to wake up and it's going to hit. I mean, look, the government is laying off a ton of people, trying to reduce the U.S. government. Where are they going to get jobs?
And that's what I'm saying. That becomes a problem for the economy, though. That's what I'm saying. That becomes a problem for the economy. And remember, it's the people that's voting you. So if the people is disgruntled, they're not gonna. I mean, remember when Trump came in, what was this idea? What was Trump said? He's gonna make the economy better. That's one reason a lot of people vote on that, because they want the economy to be better. So imagine AI get laid off, you can't find a job. What's gonna happen? You know, that's gonna take a hit. It's good, but it's gonna be regulated.
You know what's funny about all this, Dr. Dan? So you know, transportation is the biggest employer in the U.S., right?
Okay.
Transportation is the biggest employer in the U.S. So are one of the biggest employer. I think it's one of the biggest employer. So when you have self-driving trucks and self-driving cars.
Oh, but Kranky, I forgot to tell you. So I am in San Francisco right now because I'm at Stanford right now, right?
Yeah.
So I went up because I'm in Silicon Valley. I went up to San Francisco last night, me and my girl. Kranky, We took the self-driving car. Nobody just stop at stop sign. Everything cranky. I was like, this person's turning lane and everything. I'm like, wait a minute, is this person gonna kill me? That's where we are right now. Self-driving car.
So here's Dr. Dan. So why would I need a person driving a car that is a human being? They call in sick. They cost money. They want health care. They want benefits when I can just have the damn car drive itself. And I have to deal with that human nonsense and factor. Why would I need it? They have self-driving trucks. They have self-driving cars, all self-driving. And if it's one of the biggest employer of human beings, where do all those truck drivers and taxi drivers go? Where they go? What are they gonna do?
But that's what I'm saying, Kranky. That is the problem, though, because what's the problem going to happen is, first of all, it's a system, right? It can be glitches and all that stuff. So obviously, but two, if you get rid of all these jobs, what happened to these people? What
society hasn't talked about. They haven't. It doesn't. People. That's exactly the point, Dr. Dan. Society haven't had the vision to think through this and figure it out. Right? We're making progress, but then the human being is going to be regressing. And they have no idea what it means. We're going blind into this alleyway, and we have no idea what's on the other end. Right? And it's not only about just, well, this set of people can get hurt. It's the entire society. It doesn't work. And society is not altruistic enough to say, you know what? We're going to support everybody. Because one person we were worth $500 billion. Society don't give a damn about the man next to you. They only want to think about the individual self as persons. So if society had that perception or that perspective, you know what society would do? Make sure everybody have a decent life. And we wouldn't have this sort of competition to see who have a better life. But it's not how society works.
You know, my goal is, Kranky, I'm telling you this, I'm telling everybody on the stream now. My goal is to, in the next 5 years, to open up my own business, and I will treat people insurance or no insurance. The issue that I have with that, though, is that whenever you do certain things for certain people, they take advantage of it. So it goes back to the altruistic part of society that you talk about. But I just think that I like the idea of AI. I do. I remember we had a conversation about this. I was like, I'm not gonna do this. But
I remember.
Yeah, when I realized this made my life easier. Man, Kranky, sometimes I'm sitting there and I'm like, sometimes the doctors ask me a question or the patient asks me a question, I forget. As soon as they're talking to me, I'm typing at the same time. I'm writing at the same time.
Make you look like a genius. Make you look like a genius.
AI. And some of the most experienced doctors will ask me a question, Kranky. So this patient, blood, this is that. So what vein is this? And I'm typing at the same time, Kranky. Boom, yes, good. Knowing that I'm using AI. No, I mean,
but you're doing the right thing. You're doing the right thing.
Yeah, and what I will do is I will go and read up on it the next day, right? But I just don't want us to lose the humanistic part of it, because again, when I go to the doctor, I want to sit down and speak to a doctor and say, because for the most part, right? I've heard for the most part, most of us will be honest with our doctors, right? We will lie to everybody else. Like, for instance, one of my patients, I told him to stop smoking. His wife took me aside, like, doctor, he's lying. He doesn't still smoke after he told me he doesn't smoke anymore, right? So, like, for the most part, humanistic standpoint, I'm gonna go talk to a doctor. Be honest, you're gonna talk to a robot and be like, tell a robot.
No, here's another thing, people. You may be more transparent with your robot. I'm telling you, who want to tell some man something you feel comfortable talking about your health? You tell the robot it. He's a robot. He ain't got no feeling. He ain't gonna judge you. Who are you, right?
But was it empathetic? But what's the empathetic part, though?
Some doctors are not empathetic. Oh my God! Don't get me started, Dr. Don. I have war with doctors sometimes. Some are great. Don't get me wrong.
No, Kranky,
some have no empathy. No empathy.
Yeah, I do agree. I've seen some doctors there.
And in fact, we can program. First of all, let me just say this. I disagree about empathy. If you go and chat, they have programmed chat to be professional. They program AI to be professional, to not be confrontational, to always trying to help you with your morale and to support. If you go and chat and say something, chat and I have war. Hey, you want to eat that in a chat? Can I eat that answer they give me? Twice you give it wrong. And chat will say, I'm so sorry. I apologize. Human beings ain't saying that and say, who you call idiot? I fight. You're the human being going to fight, you know. You're not take the course. Chat will digest it and come back making you feel good about yourself.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a big difference. I'm telling you.
No. It's true, Kranky. Sometimes, okay, let me give you an example. Sometimes I say, Siri, call this. Now, when I finish, I said, thank you. And Siri will be like, talk back to me. So yes, I get that aspect of it. But Like
it's more conversational and more appreciative and more supportive than human beings are a lot of times.
So let me ask you this question, Kranky. To you, when you go to the doctor, right? What is it, apart from being treated properly and correctly, what's your expectation?
So the perception of doctors historically is doctors are the most intellectual persons on the planet. They are above. Wait, no. That's the perception. I'm giving you the perception of perception of doctor. They're all brilliant, right? Even though I treat doctors like I treat football players. There's a number 1 player in the Premier League and the number 450 player. That's how that's the curve I have for doctors, right? That's the distribution for doctors. So people have a perception, and doctor should be to diagnose my problem and give me the remedy, and it should be perfect. That's the perception of doctors. Now, when I go to doctor, I must admit I'm a skeptic. I go in very negative a lot of times. I'll admit. I go in with chat in my left hand, and I go in perplexity in my right hand, and I go to the doctor and say, "Show me." So I'm feeling this. I already did my research of what's wrong with me. And sometimes the doctor will give me an answer and I look it up and say, whatever. That doesn't work for me. So I'll ask him another question. Have you thought about this? Have you thought about this? Have you thought about this? That's the conversation. It's a back and forth conversation. Now, the last doctor I was talking to, he got annoyed of me saying, you should consider using AI for some of the things that you do. I could sense his annoyance, but he's trying to manage it. He would treat me like a human being, not some doctor. He wouldn't treat me like I'm stupid. Right? We having the conversation. And I would say, have you checked this? And he said, yes. And I got the sense that he was realizing, why are you asking me all these questions? And I'm thinking, because I'm protecting myself. Because your friend who was looking after me, I don't want to use the word, but mess up my stuff. So I ain't taking risks with nobody going forward. So we have a conversation, but he doesn't use AI. And I'm disappointed he doesn't use AI.
Is he an older doctor, Kranky?
Yeah, he's an older doctor.
Yeah.
He doesn't use AI. I'm disappointed he doesn't use AI because I'm like, you know what? I don't want you to come knock my knee with no board and say, is my knee jumping? I don't want that.
Yeah, but Kranky, to not to knock you, but some of the older doctors in my hospital that's been practicing for 20, 30, 40 years, they don't really, because they don't want to learn, they're stuck in their ways. They say leopard don't change overnight. A lot of them are like that. So that's kind of, but the younger folks like myself, the newer ones, we tend to do that because remember, we're lazier. Me personally, Kranky, I'm lazy, right? AI helped me. I don't want to do anything else. The word that some of the younger doctors, the word that they say is like study smarter, not harder. Work, they say work smarter, not harder. So we're lazier. So AI help us, right?
Right.
Now back to the distribution that you talk about. Like, let's look at this. So if you go to the school, the likes of say Penn or Stanford, right? And you're looking for a job, Kranky, you get the best job ever because they said what? You want to Penn, you want to Stanford, those are Ivy League school, you can go anywhere.
Right.
Knowingly that you at that school, you are probably a C+ level or you're down the pack, right?
Yeah.
Meaning that if you go to average school, you're probably going to be up the pack, right? So yes, the distribution is correct. You're right about the doctor aspect. Not all of us are smart, right? They test us up the wazoo. We have to be disciplined. To finish medical school, I tell this to a lot of people. And I, as a doctor, I'm telling this to everybody on the street. To finish medical school, all you have to do is discipline, Kranky, study, and don't watch nothing. I used to watch my friends party. I used to study for 10 hours a day. Discipline. That's all you need, discipline. Because if you see a material repetitively, you kick it out. Because the exam is on a computer, right? It's a computer-written exam. You just regurgitate it. People will memorize a whole book and regurgitate to pass the exam. It's discipline. And I think a lot of things in life is discipline, while a lot of us get outside of our line. So I think if a lot of people in this stream or in general get the opportunity, they will make it because it's just discipline. If you just discipline yourself, 4 or 5 hours a day to study, right? You can get there. So yes, to your point, I do agree. Not all of us are smart. I wouldn't look at myself as smart. There's people who's way smarter than me, Kranky. I ask them questions, like I said. Perfect example, I asked some of those Jamaican doctors, like I said, and they answer, it's like AI in human form. They answer everything, literally, and give me the answer. So distribution is right. A lot of doctors, it's algorithm we work by, Kranky. We memorize everything. So if you have the same symptoms, we treat you like the same person. So if you come in before me, Kranky, you come with abdominal pain, and you come in after me and I have the same thing, I'm going to treat you like you because it's algorithm, because it's the same thing. Okay, if you come with abdominal pain, if you put in AI, abdominal pain, AI say get abdominal ultrasound, get this, get that, get that. This is literally like algorithm. It's literally the same thing over and over. That's how the medicine field works.
Yeah, and look, it takes a lot of time and effort. And also, I'm going to say innate intellect. I don't think it's just memorization. You have to decide to it takes a discipline to go to school for so long trying to achieve an objective, right? A lot of time, a lot of effort, and then to pass your exams. I appreciate that. The point I'm trying to make is that if you have tools you can use to help you get your job done, you should leverage those tools. And I'm also a big proponent of this. In anything you're doing, if you're a plumber, if you're a carpenter, if there are new ways of doing things, you can't just stick to the old way. The old way may be the better way, but there's a reason why there's a new way and people are leveraging the new way, because normally it's going to help you be more efficient and sometimes more effective about what you're doing. So you should always try to update what you're doing. It's like people playing football and you're just playing long ball football, even though that's coming back into style. And people are playing tiki-taka.
Remember Kranky 4-4-2 was the thing all the way up
until... No, 4-2-4. It used to be 4-2-4. You're using two center forwards and four wingers and nobody in the middle of the park. And then they change to 4-3-3. And then you have no 3-5-2, whatever it is, right? So you have to adapt situations so you can be relevant. And you can't just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. And I'm telling you, this paradigm shift is not one I'm embracing. And I always embrace change because I don't know what happened to the man. I don't know what's going to happen to the human being.
But
what's the human being's relevance?
But Kranky, not to cut you, but I notice a lot of things now. For instance, now people's no longer going out to date. They're doing everything on dating app, right? Dating app. So it's like there's no humanistic form of like you conversing. Back in the day, people used to have lyrics, right? You don't need no lyrics anymore. You just go on the app and just.
Hey, I can't write the lyrics for you. You don't
need no lyrics anymore. You go on the app and you text 4 or 5 girls the same thing, copy and paste one to all of them, right? Because they won't even know who you're talking to. So that humanistic point is that shift. Like I said, now everybody have podcasts where people are trying to find ways how to make money because they're no longer relying on things. Now investment is heavy. Now everybody's buying stocks. Everybody's doing all this stuff.
But so you transition a good point, which is about buying stocks, right? So normally you give somebody your money to manage, to buy stocks so you can get a return on it, right?
Yeah.
But those companies who normally have somebody who's very knowledgeable about the stock market and leverage research, you can just program something to do it for you. You don't need a portfolio manager anymore to manage big portfolios. At some point, portfolio manager become obsolete. You're going to need somebody to oversee things, but you won't need individual portfolio managers to go out and figure out which stock to buy. Yeah, AI going to pick the stock. AI can do a better job picking the stock for you. Have more data, more information. The same thing I do in assessment, it can do in the video. It can go get the research information, collate the information, think about all the factors utilized to go buy a stock and go buy the stock without you doing it. And first of all, I used to work at a firm that was doing that since 2008. They had a system. I won't say what the system is. That was an AI type system that was doing this almost 20 years ago.
It seems to me, Kranky, that looking at this, the way our AI took off, it has to be in R&D for some years.
It's been happening for a long time. Long time. There are companies who have AI type systems and program out there that were making decisions and they're reaping in money, and then everybody catch up at some point and become ubiquitous, right? That's what's happening.
Yeah.
Before it comes into the human being's hand, everyday person is being leveraged by a bunch of different, including the US, the CIA and all those organizations. They always are the ones doing all the research and come up with these things.
They're using it too. They're using it too.
Of course.
That's on CNN. They're using. I mean, everybody's using it, right? And it's a tool that's very efficient. And what I'm afraid of is just it will distort us as a human being when we rely on that. Because what happens when we rely on computer basics and stuff like that? Like me and you and the older of us who, we won't be as smart. Like it distort everything, so things won't be as smart. You rely on AI to do everything. Think about it. Like for instance, when I text on my iPhone, right? I just put in few letters and it spelled the word for me. Then I'm probably not gonna know how to spell anymore. Certain stuff like that.
That's the concern actually, because you know what's important? You make a great point, Dr. Dan. So here's what's interesting, people. You have to be able to challenge AI, because I challenge AI all the time. But if you haven't learned some of the things they can challenge AI on, how are you going to challenge AI? You're just going to say what the AI give you, right? Because you as a doctor know, so you're going to give AI something. You're like, no, I don't think that's right. Why don't you go revisit this, right? That's what I do a lot of times. Man, AI have wars, literal wars. You're wrong. This is not right. This makes any sense. It's helping me, but there's some things it gives me which I challenge, which I don't think that's right. Even in news, people, AI will put up the wrong information. Man, AI have wars. I'll be like, you're wrong. He didn't do that. I watched the game myself. You're wrong. And AI will argue. And like, first of all, you got to tell AI, go check, make sure the facts There's the way you can program the AI to make sure it gets the information from the right source, because sometimes it goes to sources which are not correct. Right? It goes to source. You got to make sure it goes to the right source to get information, or you use AI to check AI to make sure it's right.
Yeah, I actually truly agree with that.
Somebody say you should elaborate on how to not get denied for Ozempic.
Okay, so Ozempic is very expensive drugs, and you take it.
Give us numbers. Give us numbers. You say very expensive. Give us numbers.
It's like $1,500
for what? For one dose?
Yeah. So no, you get 4 doses. You get one. So you stick it in your belly. You stick it in your belly once a week. So it's 4. You take it 4 times a week. They have the oral version of it as well. They have the IV. Obviously, whenever you stick something in IV, it goes straight in your bloodstream. Versus oral take a little time because it break down and all that stuff, right? So that's why people do the IV stuff. Same thing medication. So what happened is with Ozempic, because it's so expensive, insurance do not want to approve it.
Right.
So in order for insurance to approve it, you have to say a lot of stuff. So whenever a patient comes, in my clinic, right, I have to put a certain, Kranky, when you go to clinic, they write up, they call it clinic notes, right?
Yeah.
And that clinic note is what the MA in the clinic sent to the insurance. So basically, the wording that I have to use to say my patient BMI said 35, and she's been exercising 5 days a week for the past 6 months with no change in her BMI. Her diet has improved. Her diet has improved to just greens, no BMI. So then what happened is when I wrote that and said I recommend the patient start Ozempic, that will help her as well, because when you lose your weight, it will help your blood pressure, decrease your chance of having any cardiovascular disease. Then the insurance company said, now you can get this. But then if I don't have those particular wordings in it, they won't do that. So that's how I've been able to get some approved. Some insurance are more stricter than some, right? They just move. It depends on which insurance company. But for the most part, you have Zepbound, you have Lyrica, those things, those GLP-1 inhibitors. That's what they do. What those things do is decrease the satiety. It means it makes you get full fast. That's basically what Ozempic does. It shrink your stomach. So you get, that's really what it was.
So it reduces your appetite, you're saying, right?
Yes, to reduce your appetite. Right. It increased insulin sensitivity. So remember, it's given for people with diabetes, right? Insulin sensitivity, because remember, people with diabetes have no insulin. So remember, when you have diabetes, right? When you eat, you have a bunch of glucose, and insulin is like Pac-Man. It comes and eat up the glucose and store it. Because remember, glucose is the energy source, right?
Yeah.
So that's why whenever people are diabetic and they go outside and work out, we tell them not to use insulin, right? But in any case, that's kind of what happened is, so it increases your insulin sensitivity, and it makes your stomach shrink. It shrinks your stomach. So that's why people that's on Ozempic, they lose muscle mass as well as.
So I have my own Ozempic. So here's my Ozempic, people. Because when you get more seasoned, you go to the doctor, something always wrong, right? So here's my Ozempic. I went to the doctor and I get my AC1 number, and I was like, damn, where are you going, AC1? This is not a good look. So I changed my diet drastically. The first thing I did was cut out sugar. And what I realized is that when you cut out sugar, my desire to eat and my food intake reduced significantly. Like, it's amazing, actually. I cut out sugar. I am not as hungry as I used to be, right? I'm sugar addictive because you still have that need for taste. But I changed my diet drastically. I think in the last 2 months, I've lost about 12 pounds by just changing, I wouldn't even call it a diet, by a lifestyle change. And even some fruits you have to cut out, right? Okay, if you eat things like apple, it's not good for people who are like pre-diabetic. There are a number of things that you eat which you probably should revisit, or you have to eat them in smaller portion. But I realize, and I haven't even exercised that much, because my nephew and I have this competition now to go exercise. We're going to start next week, whereby I feel good that I've lost all this weight, and I haven't even been to the gym yet on a regular basis. I go once a week or so. So the point I'm trying to make is that I think people take these drastic methods sometimes, and I think if you just get more discipline and make these changes, you'll be amazed how these lifestyle changes can allow you to better manage your situation, frankly.
Okay, so the first thing I do when I see a patient, the first thing I always say, diet and exercise. So say, for instance, you come in when their blood pressure is high, right? I don't throw you on blood pressure medication. I said, I want you to make this adjustment with your diet, low sodium, and then in 3 months you follow up with me in the clinic. If I measure you again, your blood pressure is high, then I go ahead and put you on medication because increased blood pressure can cause stroke. The number one cause of stroke is high blood pressure, right? So
Yeah.
stuff like that. And then what I normally do is I always say diet and exercise. For me personally, Kranky, I eat 1 meal a day. That's how I operate.
When do you eat the meal? When do you eat the meal?
I usually eat my meal the end of the day. So like 6 o'clock. The reason why I eat 1 meal as well is because if I eat a big meal during the day, I get sleepy. I'm one of those, the niggeritis type of person. That's me.
So you eat one meal a day. Don't you drink water throughout the day?
I do drink a lot of water. Yes, okay. I do, because I don't want to get kidney disease.
Right.
So I eat 1 meal a day, drink a lot of water. I will eat some snacks, but not a full meal. So like, I'll eat like maybe say a peanut, cashew, those stuff like that. But I won't eat a meal. But when I go home, I'll eat a meal. I'm caloric deficit, so it's hard. You know what I mean? Because think about it, the gain weight is what you put in, right? So the more calorie you put in, the more you gain, right? So if you don't put in a calorie, you're not gonna get no weight. Simple mathematics, you know?
Yep. No, I agree with that. I mean, I walk like 3 to 4 miles a day, frankly. I try to do that. And I try to do it a more scenic walk. That's where I do my thinking. Just going out and walk at a decent pace. Try to walk under 20 minutes per mile, actually. But I want to really increase my workout significantly, which I plan to do in a couple of weeks. But the first thing I did was lose the weight just by changing lifestyle. Now, the problem I'm running into, which is very interesting, I may not want to lose any more weight, but I'm not sure I can avoid that, actually. Which is really interesting, which is me trying not to lose more weight because the weight is falling off now. I'm not even trying that hard. So when I start working out really hard, that becomes a challenge. And when you lose weight, it starts showing in your face, right? Yeah. Which is something which also makes it more challenging. So I don't know how to counteract that.
Yeah, Kranky, I agree. I think for us in the diaspora, right? I would love, because our food, right? If you look at in the hospital, majority of chronic diseases is our people, Black people, Jamaican, us, because
poor food is
full of,
yeah,
our food is full of starch, right? And remember, right? The number one killer in all of the world is cardiovascular. How do you get cardiovascular disease? From high blood pressure. How do you get high blood pressure? From salt. Everything we put salt in our food, seasoning, salt, everything. Every time I watch a cooking channel on YouTube when I'm looking to cook something, I see oil. Well, like if they're making brown stew chicken, you put Larry seasoned salt, you put this, you put that. That's all have salt, right? So what that does increases one's blood pressure. So I think for us, and I always say this, but health is wealth, honestly. And I truly believe that, because if you're not healthy, you can't go to work. And I do know that a lot of Jamaicans are more now, they're more aware. They're trying their best. Like for me, when I was
you're right about that, actually, because when I'm in Jamaica, there's a lot of advertisement on TV talking about some of these things. Yeah. When I was
younger, growing up, I used to in Jamaica. I used to hear people say sugar. I didn't know what sugar was. I didn't know sugar means diabetes. I didn't know sugar means diabetes.
Yes, you're right.
Yo, Kranky.
You have sugar.
When I was younger, my uncle used to drink sugar and water, brown sugar water. I was like, what is this? Now I look back at it, I'm like, man.
Don't feel bad. I used to drink brown sugar water too. That was look, patty, cocoa bread, bulla, bun, cheese. That's all you ate. When you go to school, you eat patty and cocoa bread for lunch. I eat bun and cheese for lunch.
Yeah,
killer food. Foods that kill you and destroy your body. That's what you eat.
Yeah, it tastes good, but also I think us and the African diaspora, because we have a lot of natural resources, organic food, right?
Yes.
That's why the farmers need to be supported, because the organic. Do you know how much organic food costs here? If I go to organic market here, Kranky, just to get one bag, I'm looking at $300-$400. And the people in the diaspora in Jamaica, last time I was in Jamaica, I went to market in Jamaica, Kranky. Fresh food, fresh plantains, fresh everything. Here, they import everything from Europe, and I mean everything from South America. So what they do, they put ethylene. Ethylene is a chemical. All that stuff is not good for me and you. So it's just that, like, there's so many things that we are rich in, right? And I want to see us utilize that, right? And the problem is, how do we utilize that? You have people like myself and a lot of young, educated, energetic people in the Caribbean that can do that, but the brain drain is the problem because everybody's leaving the Caribbean to get educated elsewhere or take their talent elsewhere. So that means the ones in the Caribbean that's there have little to no information to do.
Yeah, but the problem that you have with food is that the food that the food that tastes good is bad for you, and the food that don't taste good is good for you. Which problem you have, right? That's a problem. The food that you love and it tastes good is bad for you. It's like a killer for you. It's like the same concept of life in general. You got to do things in moderation. If you do it extreme in any way, shape, or form, which we do a lot of times when we eat food, it's gonna have the outcome is not gonna be good.
Yeah, I tell people this, and this is my last point. If there's any disease you want to avoid, is diabetes. That's any disease.
Oh my God! Yes.
That's diabetes is the worst disease you can ever have. You lose your foot, you lose your eye, you lose your kidney, and you lose your heart. Those are and then
When I was at my AC1, it was a certain number. I'm like, no, this got to change.
Yes.
So I'm going to the doctor and check this where it is, but it's got to change. Not playing that game.
Any disease you want, because diabetes, it causes neuropathy. Neuropathy means that you cut your foot and you don't feel it because the nerves is gone. So that's why a lot of people lose sugar, because when you cut your foot, you can't feel the nerve. Your foot get infected. You get what we call osteomyelitis, which is inflammation of the bone. They have to cut off your whole foot, right?
Yeah, we don't want that. We don't want that.
And then, you have to do that. And then diabetes, it causes kidney disease. So that means we have to put you on a medication that prevent that kidney disease. Most people who have diabetes are on metformin or insulin, right? And those things you have to take, because guess what? The diabetes means your pancreas not working. So when you eat, that means you do every day, if you don't have those insulin to regulate your sugar is what diet everything. People with diabetes, if they don't take care of it, they get full fast. It causes something called gastroparesis because the sugar damages everything in your stomach. So it's one of those diseases. Most people with diabetes die from heart failure because diabetes and heart failure goes hand in hand. There's one disease nobody wants to get. It's easy though. One thing is like you work out, because when you work out, Kranky, your body become what we call acidic. So the body takes up all that sugar from your bloodstream, put it in the cell, so in your muscle. So that's why we always tell people.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Yes, that's why I always tell people, the first thing I tell you, diet, exercise. When you have diabetes, run, diet, exercise.
What if you can't run and you have had old soccer knees? What do you do? What's the alternative?
You just anything to make your body sweat and make your body move, because what happens is, remember when you eat, Kranky, your blood sugar is sweet, right?
Yeah.
And then what happens is when you work out, your body becomes what we call acidic, which is like, your blood, it's acidic. So it's like lime, it becomes acidic. So what it does is that it takes the insulin takes that blood sugar up and store it in your muscle. Remember, sugar breaks down into starch. Starch is your muscle form, your energy source, right?
Yeah.
That's why when you see football play their workout, they have to eat so much because they burn off all that sugar, right? So sugar break down to carbohydrates. Carbohydrate is your energy source, right?
Right.
And then carbohydrates break down to fat. So that means when you eat a lot of carbs, that's why you break down to fat. So it's like that's kind of
stuff. Okay. Well, I learned something tonight. But I'll be doing more exercising.
Yeah, for my patients who have knee problems and stuff like that, I will tell them to get those bike. What's this bike called that they ride? That will help.
It's slipping me now. But I know what you're talking about. Yes.
That or they can just walk on a treadmill, like my mom, right? I try to always tell her, my dad loved bread. Every second, all he does bread.
Oh man, I used to love bread. Yeah, I say used to because I don't eat bread anymore.
My dad used to go through 2 hard-boiled bread a week.
I'm not gonna comment. A week is a long time for 2 hard-boiled bread for me.
My dad used to go through 2 hard-boiled bread a week. You eat it with everything. I said, listen, you gotta cut back on that. It's some of the hardest thing for me to do as the physician, right? Because I'm the only doctor in the family. I try to make sure he's up on track, because my dad has diabetes, right? So I try to make sure he is up on his medication, everything, because the moment anything happens with diabetes is bad. I always check on his A1C levels and all these things, because.
So wait, when you check his A1C, you doing it through his blood, or you have something to test it?
No, the A1C, because so your blood. Your blood sugar, or we call RBC, lives in your body for 121 days. So your A1C is accumulation of 3 months of stuff. So if this month, say November, right, you eat all the sugar. Well, say October, you eat all the sugar. Now
Right.
take A1C the beginning of November, your number is not going to be high. But it's accumulation of 3 months. That's why we always tell our patient to come see us every 3 months, because it's a
Oh,
total of 3 months.
okay.
Yes.
Oh,
So
so okay, but you test it through your blood, though, right?
yes, it's tested to the
Okay.
blood. You test it, or we have something called fasting glucose. So basically, fasting glucose when you don't eat all night, and we take your blood in the morning
Okay.
and test it for that, and that's how it works. So those are certain things that we do. But I went into medicine, Kranky. Like I said, I had a pretty stable job. I was an accountant, finance. I don't have kids, so all my money was mine. But I just wanted to invoke change. I just saw that. I remember, like I said, growing up in Jamaica, I saw how things were, how depleted the medical system is, or how things are doing, and I'm like, I want to do something. And I tell people this all the time. I don't believe me, but I don't care for the money. I just want to help people.
Well, you can give me the money and just do the work and do the help. I don't mind spending it for you.
After I pay off my loans, I got you.
No, it's funny. I was talking to a friend of my daughter who had a lot of student loans too. I think she paid her. She had like a couple $100K. She paid it off in like a year and a half. She was working for a big law firm, though. She was working for a big law firm.
I have a house price. I can buy a house with my loan. I have $200,000 in loan.
Yeah,
to buy a house.
That's a lot. That's a lot of money. I didn't incur any debt when I went to school.
Yeah, I can buy a house.
That's a lot of money, and you got to pay interest on the loans, right?
Yeah, well, it wasn't that much, but after the interest as was incurred on it, that brought it up that much. The interest were incurred on it. But I mean, I say this to say that, Kranky, man, I appreciate. I always enjoy having conversation with you, because I know you bring on. We always mix it up about politics. We, again, all your supporters and all your commenters, like, I listen to them. They're all intelligent. Everybody, you know what I mean? I respect everybody. Everybody respects, because we all have opinions. We're not going to agree, but, we can disagree respectfully. And they're very intelligent. You know what I mean? They all have experience. And I do think that your audience is wide. So a lot of them want to invoke changes, and they're very, they're engaging. Like, they're engaging, which is good. That's all you want to, that's all you want to have, right? Because once you have somebody who listens to you, engaging you, that's the start. Because like you said, it's just like if a patient comes to me and I say, stop smoking. I can't force them, but I tell them that, right? They'll listen to me. They eventually, you give them information as to why they should stop, and they will. So I do think that, that's what we want. Like, we can talk about football some days, we can talk about politics some days, because we all have that ability to do that. You know what I mean? But I think the most important thing out of everything is our health. Our health actually goes a long way, because if you have a flu right now, you can go to work. In fact, they'll tell you to go home because they don't want to get sick themselves, right?
Yep.
So that's kind of how things are.
Dr. Don, appreciate you, sir. Thanks for calling in.
All right,
I'm
man.
getting ready to close the program down, but I appreciate you. Peace out.
All right.
All right, everyone. It was an impromptu session tonight, just to talk about. I didn't go through all the topics I wanted to go through. I didn't talk about Caribbean and the challenges, the Caribbean. I didn't talk about life of diaspora and challenges. We'll have more of these sessions, people. It's not just about football. I know some people just come talk about football. Then your football then run out. But life is more than football, actually. But I'm going to leave with the football thing. And say this, people, which is, for the people who are complaining about stats don't matter and are using stats too much, the way we assess things in life, just in general, is about stats. Most things are about stats. Because it's about information, and the information can be quantified. Even some information which can be quantified, you use that information to inform your view about things. So this concept or this idea, like the stats don't matter for Dixon because when he play away for Jamaica, it does matter, because we're supposed to use some criteria to make selection for players. Okay? Float, you come too late. Come here. Hey, Float, you like that enough, Float? You come when the show done. You're typical Jamaican, Float. You come when the show done. But the point I'm trying to make people is that in today's environment, stats are an imperative. They're important, and you have to leverage the stats. I totally agree with you, DC. And you know what's funny, people? Here's what's funny. Here's what I find out. Because I was one of the people who drove everywhere. Don't like to walk. Even though I took a machine at home, I would use the elliptical machine and go 30 minutes. I hated walking. I hate doing like treadmill, elliptical machine, but I would do it because I know it's important. Here's what I realized. That when you spend an hour walking, and I have more flexibility in my time, as you guys know, you're thinking about different things which help you. Like I want to do a show. I may say, okay, what topic should I do tomorrow? And I'm thinking about 1,001 things. And it's amazing how enlightened you become when you walk for like 3-4 miles and you have so much things going through your brain and you can synthesize the information and then use it to do whatever you want to do. You may have a problem you haven't thought about because you're so busy doing so many different things. You're multitasking. But when you're walking, there's a sense of peace. And you maybe listen to some program, which I do sometimes, and it helps you in terms of your thought process. So as DC is saying, I would suggest people, when you're walking, it's healthy to walk and walk at a brisk pace. You're physically helping yourself and you're helping your mind and you're clearing your mind and it's helping your process about how you think and what you think about. So I would suggest, like DC is inferring or saying, that we should walk much, much more. I walked to some places I thought I would never walk to, right? I walk 5 miles sometimes. I realize I walk 5 miles. And I always ask myself, how do people enjoy running? I just run out into space. Like, how you just run 5 miles? That made no sense to me. It's boring. And then I find myself walking because I can't run anymore because I had like 4 knee surgeries. Trying to play football, which I probably wasn't good at anyway, so I probably shouldn't have done that. But anyway, in hindsight. But when I'm walking now, if I'm going someplace and it's less than 3 miles, I am reluctant to drive. If it's 3 miles or less, I'm reluctant to drive. Especially if it's like 1.5 miles in each direction, I'm very reluctant to drive. And in fact, unless I'm going to be picking something up, which would require some heavy lifting, I'm not driving. I am going to walk because it's stimulating my mind, but also it's helping me in terms of me moving and become more healthy. So I would suggest people, if you are in certain neighborhoods, so long as it's safe, you should walk more. You definitely should walk more. I had a friend who did some charity work in Africa. And when she came back from Africa, I would say, oh, we're going on there. It's 5 miles away. And she's like, okay, let's walk. And I was thinking, you're mad. Something's wrong with you. You walk 5 miles one way. And now I'm thinking, I don't want to drive anywhere. So it's interesting. So Reggae Boyz is saying that Dixon's, here's a problem with your comment, Reggae Boyz blogger, which people don't think about. We're talking about Dixon's contribution, which I don't know what that contribution is, to be honest, because he's playing wing for Jamaica. So if your contributions are not in goals and assists, how else are you contributing? So let's say you're contributing defensively. You're basically saying the person who would have replaced you couldn't do as well as you do. Because that's all it's about, It's not about the individual and them getting the place, It's like, are you taking the place for somebody who could do better than you offensively and even do the same with defensively? So, for example, Campbell. Campbell's defense is just as good as Dixon. His body doesn't twitch as fast, so it looks like he's as busy, but he's just as good as Dixon. And his offense may be better, even though people may not agree with me, but his offense may be better. Right? But we don't give Campbell that benefit of the doubt. Dixon gets called every single window, even though he's playing in League 2 and not playing any football. Now, those are the people who say I don't like Dixon and I criticize Dixon like local players. Go watch my previous videos way back when to talk about Dixon. I try to be as fair as possible. I would say Dixon should play like over Antonio because Antonio wasn't scoring goals. And stats are a matter to me, people. Goals are important, assists important. If you're playing up front and you're playing football, you should be contributing, not just defensively. Because if you don't score goals as an offensive player, then who's going to score the goals if none of the offensive players are playing? Everybody has to be judged the same way. So if your winger not scoring, your center forward not scoring, but you're telling me how much he's contributing, so then my midfielders need to score. That your primary job to me is to contribute offensively. Defense is just an imperative is just as important, frankly, to help out your wing back or your team. But you have to be producing offensively. Is why there. And I ask people, when I go to the stats and people are complaining, I'm like, so if we have nobody with stats about scoring, how am I going to win games? We have to be fair. I know people like Dixon. He's a nice kid. He plays hard. But the output doesn't marry with the perception and perspective of the player. It just doesn't. They don't align. And I'm agnostic to any player and how they play. I am a slave and a supporter of production. Are you efficient? Are you effective? Do you contribute to the team based on your primary job and your secondary job? If you don't, I have to look for somebody else who can do the job. All right, Peter Mystic. He's probably still on. Dr. John, man, say appreciate you, Ozempic information. And Dr. John always contribute greatly to this program, and I appreciate him. I think some players play better for country than club. A few players ago, everybody was trash at man, but it was good. Yeah, and some players don't get no game at club, so they have to play. You don't stop your Dr. John. Some players are Jamaica. Hey, people. Most of Jamaican players now get no minutes, so we don't know. They can't play better for the club than country because they now play for the club. Dixon get 9 minutes today. Huh? Dixon. I'm gonna give you an example. Cephas, who everybody say has to play. The last time I checked, Cephas played 176 minutes all season to date, which is when he has the ability to play about 10, 11 games. He has 0 goal and 0 assists. Dixon have 0 goal and 0 assists. And when Cephas come and tell me how great Cephas is, and look at Cephas stats, he has 0 goal and 0 assists against. Wait, first of all, if you look at Cephas stats, you have to laugh. Because people like give you this is what I debate Maverick now. Maverick, I can't wait for debate you. You chat pure nonsense. Cephas has no goal and no assist in a meaningful game, not friendlies, with any team that's inside the 100. Go check the stats, people, and say, if Kranky, I tell a lie. Tell me a team that's ranked less than 100 in the FIFA 100 ranking that Cephas has kissed and a goal against. Please do. I'm waiting to hear people. Go check the stats. The man is a small team bully. And people say that kind of say, me I fight the youth. I am the same person who said Russell shouldn't start in the Jamaica national team. Russell has 5 goals and 1 assist for Jamaica in 15 games. Cephas has 2 goals and 6 assists in about 25 games. Russell has scored in big games. Guatemala, Guadeloupe. I think he scored against one team outside the top 100. Cephas not scored no goal against the top 100 when the game matter, except for the 2 assists against Nigeria. The stats are the stats. Don't talk about hating him play CDM. People, don't conflate positions. Here's another thing too I don't like what you guys doing. Why you get so come Blake not scoring on goal? Blake not scoring on goal. Reggae Boy commentary. Blake not scoring on goal. Why Blake not scoring on goal? He's up on the field. That's the kind of argument you guys make, you know. You guys make argument, you have to laugh sometimes. You have to be the CDM. How many CDM you see scoring enough goals? Which CDM you see scoring a lot of goals? We're going to put Hayden into the mix? Really? At least Hayden got assists for Jamaica against big team. He got assists against the USA. Cephas has no assists against any team ranked in the top 100. I am not talking about Lambakis. I was talking about Dixon. That's what I'm getting beaten about. Stop downgrading the local ballers. I just mentioned Russell. How come you didn't mention about Russell? Downgrading local ballers. All you guys have this inferiority complex that you're dealing with when it comes to Jamaican football. I don't have that problem. I'm a caller who plays when I'm playing well. I'm playing. You guys have a diaspora bias when it comes to Campbell and Dixon. Campbell and Dixon play for the same club. They demoted Dixon. They promoted Campbell. Campbell plays center forward today and played 90 minutes. Is his stats great? No, they're not. But the club value him more. Honestly, they might fight Dixon. No, stop it, man. It's getting annoying and it's getting and it's rubbish. Rubbish. Me not fight nobody. I call the stats like they are. I'm trying to find out the criteria. What's the criteria for selection? Because it makes no sense to me. 0 sense. Talk about energy. Like we are like we are a light company. Like we are something company. Huh? Nonsense, do not talk, people. Don't stop the nonsense, man. Stop the nonsense. I look at Limbaki's stats. I haven't gone to the defense yet. I'm looking for offensive because I'm on top about scoring. Limbaki's been getting 9 minutes. I am not supporting. I call out Russell. Nobody said nothing. I call out Cutter Marty when he missed 3 goals. Birmingham, nobody said nothing. But as soon as you mention a local players, I don't get none of feelings. I want to stop it, man. It's old. It's tired. It's old and tired. I beat Cutter Marty for missing 3 goals against Bermuda. Nobody said nothing. Me beat Russell for not producing, but Russell's stats better than Cephas stats. Russell's stats are much better than Cephas stats. They're not even comparable. I'm saying Russell shouldn't play because he's not contributing midfield except he score some goal, which is the most important thing to do. He's not contributing and he's killing his team. I don't hear Reggae Boyz commentary. Reggae Boyz blogger complaining. I want to stop it, man. Don't start nonsense. Nonsense. I call out all the players who are not playing well. I call out Bobby Reek. I'm not playing football. Bobby Reek should have been in the squad for the Gold Cup. I'm not saying nothing. As soon as I mention a local player where the stats don't marry to what they're being called and how they're playing and how they're viewed, you guys get into your feelings. I find that amazing. The hypocrisy kills me. I don't understand. That's why I struggle. Cephas has no goal and no assist for an entire season playing for his club team. He can't even get no minutes. He should change club. I didn't call out today Antonio and Pinnock and Rico Henry on the bench. That might never say anything. Oh, come you not say nothing, Reggae Boyz blogger. You don't say anything. I'm gonna stop the hypocritical style. I'm gonna stop the nonsense. I called them out, so they're not getting any game time. You said nothing. As soon as I mentioned Dixon, you go in your feelings. You have a local bias, Kranky. Sometimes we can recognize in ourselves. Cephas has to contribute more to wrestling. Cephas, people, let me just say this, people. Cephas is a small team bully. Cephas score against St. Vincent. Cephas score against, was it Dominica? Bermuda score against and St. Vincent. Him have assist against Dominica, Dominican Republic, and 2 against Bermuda. Really? That's your and he played against US, Guatemala, Honduras, USA, Canada. You have 0 against them. Stop your nonsense, Reggae Boy, blogger. What you guys do is topical analysis. You guys do topical analysis. There is no, that's why you and Maverick, I'm doing topical analysis. I'm going to debate Maverick, but he can't debate because he's going to use his nonsense meter. When you start showing him facts and he can't come back with anything, that's why I don't want to put in program using nonsense meter. He can debate me in an independent forum. We can have a real conversation if he want to debate and go put them thing here. And them bias. People like you, Reggae Boy blogger, don't like Diaspora players. You guys hate Diaspora players. Just like the Skill Cole who passed away, and just like what's his name? What's the old coach? The coach of Coach Mount Pleasant. Who not the same. Who not like Diaspora players. I am American, I'm British, I'm Jamaican. Okay? Good night.
Hello.
Hello.
So call back team.
You have things playing in the background, I don't know what he's doing. I'm soon done the program because I'm on 2 hours now. Reggae Boyz blogger, I am not biased against Jamaica players. So I was the one who come on here. Here's the thing, people. I have receipts for everything that I've said. I have receipts. I came on this program and said Cephas on any 10. That's a fact. That can't be disputed. I have receipts. You know what I do? Pull up my prior Cephas comments. I said Cephas on any 10. I come on here and said Dixon should replace Antonio because Antonio now scored no goal. I get beaten by Claudine. I'm going to repeat these things out one time. Reggae Boyz blogger just like come to give me a hard time. Come with no substance and come with him noise like Maverick. Come like a Maverick, pure noise. When I check stats, people, I just don't take the stats superficially and say you have 2 goals and 6 assists. I look at Bailey's stats versus Cephas. I look at Gray's stats versus Cephas. I look at any Campbell stats versus Cephas. I look at all the stats, both club and country. Cephas is a poor team bully. He no score against nobody were good. In a World Cup qualifier, Nations League, he got 2 assists against Nigeria, which he make him name from. I used to say Cephas on any 10. Cephas have a start. That's what I used to say. And then I start pass the data of late. I pass the data and realize, you know what? What this man not score now and do nothing against nobody who can play football? We score 8 goals against Bermuda. 75% possession. When do we do that? Everybody look good against Bermuda. The only team we drew from Africa and score against. Both Cephas and Whisper. The topical analysis that you guys do, Reggae Boyz, you and Maverick, you are being disingenuous to the people. Disingenuous. In fact, you guys are being, no, you're not disingenuous. You're poor in your analysis. You're not being disingenuous because you don't know any better. You're poor in your analysis. You don't know how to assess information. You don't know how to assess information. You don't know how to use information for its intended purpose. You do topical things and you think you're so smart, and you're not as smart as you think you are. It's amazing that you're here debating Dixon and Cephas who can't get in them club. And when Maverick says that Dixon, that Tyrese Hall is playing in the Bush League of England, the same league Dixon playing. It's amazing to hear that. I must support Dixon. and I fight me and say me I fight local ball and this and that. Me can't wait for the debate, man. But me go on him program because first of all, when you try to call him program, you can't get through. Second of all, him this one day giving nonsense meter. And like what me I say. And the first time I get nonsense meter in my life, nobody will tell me talk nonsense. If you don't like what me say, don't tell me nonsense. But here's the thing. Here's your argument, Reggae Boyz blogger. Who we play in life matters, people. If you score against Liverpool versus against Burnley, it does matter. If all the goals you're going to score against Wolves and Burnley, but when you come to play Man U, and not even Man U, when you play Arsenal, and you play City, and you play Chelsea, you can't score, it does matter. But Reggae Boyz blogger don't know this. Or vlogger, whatever the hell you call yourself, you don't know this. You don't have that insight, that ability to assess these things and realize that, you know what, that matters. I just told you, CFAS has not scored a goal or have an assist for any team outside the top 100 in the Nations League, World Cup qualifiers, or Copa. That's a fact. Go look it up. Please go do your homework and then come talk to me. I'm not put up no comment again because you annoy me. Go do your work. Yes, me put up the money too. You put up my own money and debate him. But anything we do with Reggae Boyz football. Anything we do with Reggae Boyz football, we talk about. The man call me out, say me I fight Dix and me I fight Cephas and this and that and also Dix run around hard and all these players run harder than the vlogger ball. The man say me divisive and I create them narrative and I find a create narrative when him do it more than anybody else. Him and Reggae Boy vlogger them do it more than anybody else. People, to get peak for your people. Let me ask you guys something in the chat. I'll put up Reggae Boy blog on them, okay? Man, because you don't know what I'm talking about. To get picked for your national team, people. Let's say you play in the JPL, people. Let's say you play football in the JPL. Let's say your name Fuller, because you're Fuller in JPL. And you're playing football. You play forward, people. How do you get selected for Jamaica national team? What's the basis? How do you get selected for Jamaica national team, people? What's the basis for you get selected? You're playing the JPL. If you're playing forward, we don't talk about defense and midfield. Let's just forward for now. You're playing wing and you're playing center forward. How do you get selected for the national team? What's the basis? And wait, by the way, you're in the JPL, you're not getting no playing time. Are you get 10 or 15 minutes a game? People, don't you hear me, people? Listen to my logic here. Because I'm not that smart. People, Reggae Boy, blogger, I'm smarter than me, much smarter than me. I am playing for Arborview. No, I'm playing for Cavaliers in the JPL. I'm averaging, so if I'm getting 176 minutes and it's over 10 games, I'm getting 18 minutes a game, people. I have no goals and no assists for the entire season. How do I get selected for Jamaica national team? Tell me what's the criteria for me getting selected versus, for example, somebody else who may be getting some more minutes and maybe scoring a few goals and have more assists. How does that work, people? Huh? Tell me how that works, because I'm confused how that works. Let me tell you how that works. That's the knowledge I'm giving you now. I'm playing for JPL team. I'm playing for Harborview. I'm playing for Cavaliers. I played against all these teams. I'm playing forward. Please tell me what's the selection basis that you use to select me for the team. If I'm on the bench for the whole goddamn season, or if I get limited minutes and I have no goals and no assists and I'm in the national team. And then somebody else there getting goals and assists and then doesn't even get called up. We call Dixon over Campbell. I asked the question and people say me I fight the coach and me I put the coach on the spot and all that. It was a question I asked, which is they both are Charlton. Charlton have Dixon the under 21. Charlton they both Dixon to League 2. Charlton promoted Campbell and him still play over him. Fine, Campbell has hit the ball and cover, come play for us. He's done okay. He's put in the wrong position. He's not playing left wing when he want to play, but it's all right. Dixon went to Crawley Town, people, and Dixon still up on the bench at Crawley Town in League 2. He can get 9 minutes today. And we have people come on this program and have the audacity to argue with me about these things and tell me the stats don't matter. The reason why I don't Reggae Boyz vlogger, since you don't have that insight and you're trying to be cute, is this. First of all, I don't fight anybody who get picked for the team if they go out and produce, right? So here's what they do. Reggae Boy blogger, get your pen and write this down. A lot of coaches think about what league you're playing in to help inform their view the level of competition matters for selection. Just like I just talked about the Chelsea and the Arsenal and the Man City who you score against, that matters what the competition and the level of the league you're playing against to do selection. It's important. That's why a lot of people want to leave the JPL, go play overseas. They make more money because the more money you make in the league, probably the more important the league is in Saudi Arabia. No, he has no better than Jamaica than Campbell. I lie, I tell you. That's not true. He's got more chances than Campbell has gotten. Campbell has played other position because we want to play Steve on the left and put Campbell on the right. That's not where Campbell plays. Campbell plays center forward for him team 90 minutes today. Campbell's getting time at Charlton every single game. Dixon can't get into the Charlton under 21 team, much less. Stop the nonsense, man. Stop the nonsense. Campbell will be sacrificed. He won't come. Let's see what happens, Reggae Boyz vlogger, when we have Whisper and Dixon and Cephas and Bailey and Gray. What am I do? Select 6 wingers. I'm 2 midfielder. Then they did that Gold Cup. Can't wait for it to happen. I call out things and my facts and the information I provide out. I don't think it's refutable. It's not about Dixon. It's about Cephas. It's about Dixon. Let's see what happens next window. What I want is fairness, people. What I want is an unbiased selection process. And all I said on the KLS program was that I don't think Cephas is an automatic selection for be a starter in Jamaica national team, and all hell break loose. All hell break loose. So I don't want to debate somebody unless the audience is going to be reasonable and unbiased. God said whisper by Dixon. But if we only have 4 slots for 6 people, how that work? Take Campbell out the mix. Campbell will be dashed away. The coach will dash for Campbell. And they're going to use the coach as the basis. I have no... That coach to me, I wouldn't even say what I'm thinking about the coach. I wouldn't even say what I'm thinking about the coach, people. I don't think about that coach. I have my views on certain coaches and their abilities, and I'm not talking about that coach. Yeah, and look, I don't have anything against Dixie now. I just don't think we pick the best people for the team. And I think it's unfair for Dixon to be the team over Tyrese. So when Maverick says that, may I talk about people now on Bush League, the same league Dixon playing. And this person is producing and Dixon not producing, and we're still not calling the player. And the player's views are the up-and-coming star, and we're not calling the player. Same player want to play in the under 21 team and couldn't be there. Cephas doesn't have to start anywhere, Eddie Gooner. He doesn't have to start anywhere. Eddie Gooner, which team has Cephas scored for or assist against that's in the top 100, apart from the Nigeria D team he played in the Unity Cup? Please tell me. And that's a friendly. In a game that matters, World Cup qualifier, Nations League, Copa, please tell me where Cephas has an assist against any team that's ranked in the top 100. Please tell me, and I will shut up about this. JPL is a competitive League One. Wow. Or the championship. Okay, so here's what I will do, Reggae Blogger. I'm not going to put up any more of your comments. You know why? Because I want people on this channel who are debating to debate with a sense of rationality, a sense of sense, and not just want to run their mouth and talk. So I'm not going to have the conversation with you anymore. Your comment a while ago, I'm going to pin this. I'm going to take a copy of this. I'm taking a copy of this. I'm not even going to, you know what? Let me just do it. Let me just take a self picture. Let me do this. So I'll take a copy of that picture right there. With Command Shift 3. Yes, I'm going to take a screenshot of this. You said the JPL is as competitive as League One, 2, or the championship. Jesus Lord. Wow. Wow. I think it's embarrassing to even put that up in the public domain, but you have no shame. Henry said the coach cannot be trusted. He's choosing the team based on what he thinks the public. That's what he does. You hear him talk sometimes, you have to laugh. So, okay, Eddie Gooner. And Eddie Gooner, I respect your perspective, but Eddie Gooner, let me just say this. He played against Trinidad and Curacao. What did he do? He has played against Curacao and Trinidad, and he played a lot of minutes. What did he do against Trinidad and Curacao? Eddie Gunnar, please tell me what he did against Curacao and what he did against Curacao and Trinidad. I'm gonna do this 101 time. I'm not stop doing this. Eddie Gunnar, please tell me what he did against Curacao and Trinidad. How he played against them. He dominated Bermuda, scored from half line, create assists. Please tell me what he did against Trinidad and Curacao. I'm not putting any boy Reggae Boyz vlogger. He needs to go debate with other people. I can't debate people who just trying to talk for talk's sake. I'm not into talking for talk's sake. Not doing that. So here are the stats again, people. Come and do this 101 time. Who wants to see it? You can copy it. This is CFA's club form, people. This is me fighting. This is me fighting against locally born player. That's what I hear. I'm fighting against locally born player. I'm like locally born player. I'm from the diaspora. I'm an Englishman. That's what I hear all the time. We can't live with it. This is CFA stats. The league is from July. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There are 12 games. They're going to play tomorrow, so that game is not here. Right? He wasn't in the squad for the last game. Don't know why. Don't know if he was injured or they just to pick him. He has 0 goals and 0 assists. People, this line is goals, people. We don't see it. It's when him say position, center forward, left wing, right wing. If you look at this line, it's blank. If you look at this line right here, it's blank for assists and goals. Right? 0 goals, 0 assists in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games. So 2 games. That's his stats for his club team. And how much minutes he played? That should be here too. Hold up. Let me see if we can pull this up. It's not here, but I counted it. It was 176 the last time I counted. See, obviously, but 176. And the right is in minutes. So let's go to his national team form. I'm going to do this 101 time, people, because I don't want to do it. I don't know. Say Kranky, I try to fight the man. These are CFA stats, people. Look on them. No blow this up. Look on him stats, people. See him stats, yeah? I assist against Dominican Republic, assist against Dominica. That's in 2024. Right? He played against 12 minutes against Nicaragua, nothing. 45 Honduras, nothing. 45 US, nothing. 30 US, nothing. St. Vincent, he scored in the second game. I think he got a penalty. Did he get a penalty in one game? May have, actually. I think he probably got a penalty and score. But anyway. Nigeria, 2 in the friendly game, Unity Cup. And by the way, he played 90 against Trinidad, nothing. Right? I'm not going to put the St. Vincent thing. We went through that already. Go to Guatemala. 84 minutes, nothing. Guatemala, 90 minutes, nothing. Guadeloupe, 45 minutes, nothing. Panama, 45 minutes, nothing. Bermuda, of course, 100, you're going to beat them up. Trinidad, 80 minutes, nothing. Curacao, 90 minutes, nothing. 2 against Bermuda. What are we talking about? What are we talking about, people? So when you assess his stats and he has 2 goals and 6 assists, you say, oh, great. By the way, he has 8 goal contributions in 25 games. Beatty, who gets killed, but including yours truly, has 14 goal contributions in 39 games. And Beatty's goals are against big teams. Mexico, USA. CFAS don't do nothing against nobody who can play football. Nothing. Go see the stats, ya people. See the stats there. It's in front of your face. You can close your eyes all you want to about he must start. You're talking nonsense. And you want him to start over Graham Bailey. I'm not having it. Sorry, I'm not having it. Even though Bailey don't produce him to the national team, I'm not having it. He's going to start. And he may play well. But the facts are the facts. Reggae blogger, I heard you, but nobody want to hear what you say, Reggae blogger. You're talking nonsense. Nobody want to hear you talk about JP. Players can be competitive in championship. As far as you're concerned, they could be competitive in the Premier League. It's very obvious. Kranky, you can't use stats when you feel like. You really said that John Russell scored goals, but you don't see him do anything else. Yeah, but that's my point. That's my point. You're missing my point. John Russell is a midfielder. If he was a forward scoring goals, I'd be fine with it. Where you play matters, people. If you're a midfielder, you got to support your midfield, but defense and offense. If you're a forward, you get more latitude. You can't just score goals as a midfielder and you disappear for the entire game. Similar, conversely, you can't just play forward and can't score no goal and get no assists. It don't make no sense. That's your primary job. You're not doing your primary job. What is so difficult about that? And when I beat John Russell, Eddie Guna, none of you guys complain, Eddie Guna. When I beat John Russell, none of you guys say anything. You digest, you smile, and you move on. As soon as I start talking about local developed player, you guys lose your mind. I'd have to go through it. Look, Cygnus. Here's the problem that we have, Cygnus. A lot of our players are not playing any football. Whether it's Lambakisa, whether it's Lowe, whether it's Holgate, whether it's Pinnock, whether it's King. The only people that play the football are the two left back them. For the defense. If you go midfield, he did not play football. Palmer now injured. Bobby Reed not play no football. Why they coming from Jamaica, he not play football. Anglin is playing football. Right? Team is not picked based on form because it's getting hard to pick based on form. What's his in the midfield? What's his name? The kid Anderson now playing on football. The team is sad when it comes to playing time. And you can't replicate practice in games. You can't replicate practice games. Well, we can't say that any Gunnar. So Gunnar, will you play? So Gunnar, Eddie Gunnar, if you have Cephas, Whisper, Bailey, Gray, Dixon, Campbell, you have to bring 4. What's your 4, Eddie Gunnar? Eddie Gunnar, what's your 4? And we won't even talk about Mason Greenwood. Because if you can only select 3. But let's say you have 4. What's your 4 to the 6? You can only select 4 now. I just showed you, Reggae Boy blogger, the minute Cephas played against Guadeloupe 45, Guatemala 90, 45 Panama, 80 Trinidad, 90 Curacao. Everybody's focusing on the last 2 windows. Bailey and Gray didn't play the last 2 windows. Cephas doesn't play against the quality of competition that they play against. Is Bailey and Gray been hitting the ball off the cover? No. Gray came in a house of fire, and Gray's stats aren't great for his club either. But he's getting playing time. I think he scored, I haven't checked the last stats this weekend, but he scored 1 goal for Birmingham, a really good goal. But he hasn't been getting goals and assists either. I beat Gray, I beat Bailey, but all you guys focus on is the locally born players, except Bailey, because everybody have them mixed with Bailey. I criticize John Russell. I criticize Gray. I even criticize Campbell. Because I think his contribution to the national team has been where I expected to be, given his performance at Charlton. You guys don't, that doesn't matter to you guys. Go over your head. As soon as I mention a local player like Cephas or Dixon, you guys lose your mind. Now, who's biased? Who is biased when we talk about that? I'm skewing the numbers. I'm not skewing any numbers. Cephas' numbers are clear. He's getting game time. Yes, Bailey may have more game time than him. I'm just giving you the stats. Because people say Bailey is probably the national team. He has 14 in 39. That's a fact. Now, let's say Cephas has 25 games and he has 6 or 8. Cephas got 45 against Honduras, 45 USA, 30 USA, 90 against Trinidad, 84 against Guatemala. I'm just calling out the teams which are decent, 90 Guatemala, 45 Guadeloupe, 45 Panama, 80 Trinidad, 90 Curacao. And he gives you 0, big 0 in all those game stats in terms of goal contribution. And you want to argue this? We're really arguing this? Come on. Come on. Let's don't argue that. Let's just say, you know what? The whole team is challenged. And we want to go to the World Cup with a team that's not playing any football. Pinnock now playing no football. Damian Lowe, me used to get cut. I haven't seen it from Houston. We'll get a playing at Timbuktu. And we say we're now bringing Tyrese Salkem and playing a Bush League. What? And Sikata Martin decided on Sheffield Wednesday in the administration. I'm going to get no game time. It's not a good look. The team is in, I'm not going to say the team is in disarray, but it is in disarray because if you're not getting game time at your club, where do you get game repetition? Where do you get muscle memory? Where do you get continuity and sustainability? Where does that come into the whole mix? And we expect them to go to and beat Curacao and go beat Trinidad easily. I don't know how that works. I feel for the players sometimes, but I'm not going to be apologist for players who are not producing at their clubs, who are not producing for the national team, And then you guys want me to come here and say how great they are. I'm not saying that. There's no way Dixon and Cephas should play over Graham Bailey. That's my view. None. Not buying it. I don't see it. I watched Cephas against Bermuda. The right back at the halfway line, just for the halfway line, had Cephas go down the middle. Cephas didn't do nothing. He's not even dip outside. And the right back is chasing him. Any defender in primary school knows you push the man out wide and can't go inside. Him go inside, you're dead. Cephas driven from half line against Bermuda. Whisper driven from half line against Bermuda. Nobody do that in a CONCACAF for a long time. I don't know how that works. But here's what you haven't answered. Okay, people, let's pull up great contribution. Okay, so I just showed you that Cephas has no gun contribution in any game that matters of any team that's not in the top 100, right? Just show you that. Let's put up Damari Gray contribution, right? Since you want to go there, Reggae Boy blogger. Damari Gray. Let's see who Damari Gray has scored against. Cephas has not scored against anybody who play football at any level. It's a fact. No FIFA team outside the 100 Cephas has scored against. Period. Not debatable, right? Let me pull this up, people. Let's see who Damari Gray has scored against. Since you want to use Damari Gray in the mix. Damari Gray stats are similar to Cephas. He's got more game time than Cephas in terms of minutes. 7 goals in 27 games. And he also has, wow, is that 6 assists? Right. That's what you assists now. Can't say good enough, people. You have to excuse me, high side. Damari Gray has 7 goals and 6 assists in 27 games. Cephas has 6 goals and 2 assists. No, sorry, 2 goals and 6 assists in 27 games. Damari has 7 goals and 6 assists in 27 games, right? Damari games play more minutes. Let's be fair. 2,000 minutes to Cephas, I think 1,000 something, right? So stats, this says the stats are comparable. 8 against 13, right? Let's see who Damari Gray has played against, scored against. He scored 2 against Trinidad. He scored 1 against USA, 1 against Guatemala, 1 against Honduras. He scored against Grenada and against Haiti. Let's see what he has. 2 against USA, 1 against Virginia, Virgin Islands, Guatemala, Guadeloupe. What are we talking about, Reggae Boyz? What are we talking about? He has what? Cephas has not scored against Trinidad. He has 3 goals against the USA. Cephas has none. He has 2 goals against Trinidad. Cephas has none. He has 1 goal against Guatemala. Now, granted, he's played more time against those teams in terms of minutes. So let's even half the minutes. He's scoring against a big team. Cephas now score against them. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? I don't like to have conversation with people who are not reasonable in conversation. It makes it very, very difficult and get me frustrated. I like to debate and reason people who are logical and who are fair in their assessment. We're comparing apples and oranges. And I've written Russell and Casey about their play. I've written Casey about his attitude and how he operates and his play. I've done that. But here's the thing. If I wrote Russell and Casey and did mention Cephas and Dixon, you wouldn't give a damn. You wouldn't care. Because you are biased beyond belief. I judge play by their production per minute. Okay. When you made a statement, I shouldn't put up a comment. When you made a statement that the JPL is as good as League One, League Two, and the Championship, I realized we cannot argue anymore, and I'm not arguing anymore. We're done arguing with you. Done. I can't argue with people who are unreasonable, who know better but don't do better. Go debate people like Trump. Don't debate me. Anyway, I'll close the program down, people, and say this. I have nothing against Dixon. Kid is enthusiastic. Kid works hard, love the energy. Kid needs to work on his game. Nothing against Dixon. I've been supportive of Dixon from he came on the national team. That's not debatable, and I have receipts to show it. Cephas, I was the one who asked Rudolph Speed on ball pre-program if they talked to Cephas about decision making and they get beaten by enough people. who say me I try to show people, I mean ask the wrong question, or I don't know nothing about football. That's what I got from it. I don't know about football. Even on the same program, I got that same comment. You don't know about football by more than one person in that own program. None of them. Craig don't know about football. Him just watch football. Him have the necessary in-depth whatever about it. I got killed on that program, people. I'm the same one who asked the question in the press conference, why Dixon playing over Campbell when Campbell is in the same team. Him can't get no game time and Campbell get game time. I was killed about it. My view going forward is I'll do the November window, but I need to take a step back and think about doing Jamaica football. What I don't like is in a space where the bias is so pervasive, it's hard to digest. And the same people are accusing you of being biased. And no matter what you show them in terms of stats and information, they still can't accept it. They refuse to accept facts. They refuse. It's like Trump, who come on TV and says all these people are corrupt, and he hasn't looked in the mirror. All these people are terrible, and if they don't say what he wants, he cuss them out. They're idiots. They're fools, and he can't read something. If you give him a bullet kick, he can't read it. And he's struggle for read. It's very hard, people. And some of the individuals who are debating, they know better. They just like to be contrarian. They like to be divisive. They like to be troll. They like to troll you, right? They do that really, really well. No, Sickness, if I asked the question about decision making, right? Because here's something which is very interesting about Cephas and his game. That's why I get frustrated with him. That's why I start calling him out. One was about his decision making when he gets down to the box. And second is that if you're that fast people in football, if you're that quick in football, have you ever seen Cephas play a 1-2 yet? Because when you play 1-2 in the people, you're coming down you're facing, your back is sometime or sideways to the defender. You play that ball to your midfielder. The defender have to make a decision. Especially when midfielder is open. They got to stay with you or they got to go to the ball. Have you seen him play a 1-2? Have you seen Cephas play a 1-2, people? When you go by the defender, boom, 1-2, him gone. Have you ever seen that? You're a winger. You're the quickest person on the field by a good margin. 1-2, the ball can do the work and be the player versus you trying to run past the man every single time. Just putting your head down and trying to go by him. Whenever he meets a good player who have been prepped for him, it's a different game. Can't beat them. Can't go by them. Because they're ready to run with him before he started running. Amen says, we want to understand that to accommodate local born players. We expect teams to... You can't say that, Amen, because if you say that, here's what will be happening. You're going to be taught that you're diaspora and you don't like local players. But Dixon and Cephas are given more allowance than any other player in Jamaica national team. Now, some could say Cephas has earned it based on his contribution. And he has some highlights, which are great. But when you dig into the highlights, you realize it's fool's gold. I've seen Gray play 1-2. I don't know about Bailey. Bailey's always on the ball falling down. I've seen them play 1-2. I ain't see Cephas. And when you have his speed, the reason why the 1-2 is important, people, is because when you have that kind of speed, you want to freeze the defense, and it creates more room for you. Kranky, you seem to have been frustrated. He's frustrated with Jamaican football due to space. Yeah, I know. At some point, you realize, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. I will admit. At some point, you say, I don't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. It's beyond frustration. I must admit I'm getting there. I sometimes say I want to do this anymore. I can't reason with people who are unreasonable. I can't watch this nonsense and realizing that, you know what, it's just poor. In England, they have a saying in England which spread outside of England, but started in England, which says, do you know what good looks like? Which basically translates to, can you recognize excellence or exceptional ability or very good ability when you see it? Whereas everything commingled into one. Can you decipher excellence when you see it? Do you know what good looks like? It's a very simple term. And when I hear some people talk, I realize they don't know what good looks like. They're in this little box, and they're not leaving the box because it's convenient. And it's hard to have the conversation. And you realize in Jamaica, and this people, the Jamaica thing is not even, you hear people say in Jamaica, we don't have any quota in the national team. We only have quota in certain teams. That is not true. The quota is across every single teams. Maybe less so in the women's team because there's not a lot of people in Jamaica playing football at a certain level to get in the national team. But across all the men's team, there are quotas. There are quotas in the women's team, but more in the junior level. The quotas in the men's team, whether it's under 17, under 16, is pervasive. Now, the last under 17, they had a number of people from the US. They didn't go to England to get anybody. They're going to tell you it costs money. It's not the only reason. And they could make the under 17 World Cup even when they watered it down to the winner of each zone, and they water it down as much as you could water it down, and Jamaica still can't make it because they don't pick the team the right way. And for the national team, there's a quota system. And the quota is very, very obvious. You hear Maverick talk about, I want balance. The balance he wants has nothing to do with the balance between defense, offense, and defense and midfielder, or defense and offense. The balance he wants is an equal amount of local players in the team as diaspora-born players. I have no problem if that's the case, so long as the players are good enough. Right? As long as the players are good enough, I have no problem with that. In fact, if we have 23 locally born players and they're better than anybody else, I don't have a problem with that. I just want a merit-based system where players are selected based on their ability. I've always said this. I would feel very disadvantaged as a person if I'm a citizen of a country, say the US, for example, and they selected me for a job and they said, we can't select you because you weren't born here. We're selecting somebody else, but I know I'm better than that person. I would feel very disadvantaged. That's discrimination. That's not fair. We have had this discussion for ad nauseum as it relates to Jamaica, diaspora, and it's very, very tiresome, and it's very tired. And I'm glad Maverick called me out because maybe he'd stop hiding and I get to debate him in any forum about anything Jamaica Reggae Boyz football. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you need balance in the team. What you need is to pick the best team. Wherever the numbers fall, they fall. But the balance thing has to be there. He wants more balance. And balance just means more locally born players. But if you want locally born players in the team, and here's what's bad about this. Here's my last point on this. The coach, and I played this before, and I'm going to find it again and play it again. TVJ talked about how the coach has this great view of Jamaican players. And when you play the tape, the coach of Jamaican players, I want to be crude and says, they're not on ball sense. That's what the coach said. That's crude. He basically says, the kids in England are educated from age 7. So they learn how to play the game. The players here are enthusiastic. They have energy. They run hard. They ain't track and field athletes, people. They're footballers. The worst thing somebody can tell you in any discipline is that you're not smart enough for the discipline. That you can't think the discipline. If somebody can tell you don't have no sense, that's the worst thing somebody can tell you. You don't have no sense. You don't have the intellect. That's the worst thing somebody can tell you. And that's what the coach says. And they want to go talk about the coach says the energy is good. I hear Maverick says the coach says the energy. Yeah, the coach is telling you something you want to hear. No, it won't happen, Musvin. I don't think it's going to happen because I'm not going to go in this program. I don't think I'm going to go in this program. I tried to call him the other day. Now I was so pissed. I was like, you know what? I'm going to call him. I called the number. Then I called somebody to call him. And I could, because he wanted me to come on. He said I should come on the program. And I said, you know what? I'm not trying to call in. So I can set him straight. Because I know he doesn't know what he's talking about. And I have no problem having a conversation. Because I have facts on my side. And when I have facts on my side, I don't struggle. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But when I'm right, I'm right. And I'm not going to sit and let somebody badmouth me in public domain and I can back it up. No, to be fair, I have called out Maverick a number of times. So it's about time he called me out. But I have no problem with that call out. I have called him out a number of times when he has his hypocrisy. Same man who talked about YouTubers figue in my term. That's not what he said, but he criticized the YouTubers, them who go JFF, go get interview people, and then him see him when I talk about traditional media say, traditional media fight YouTube with them. I don't know anybody who can talk about them out that way. See him who told missing green for go away. As I pointed out, when Liam Bailey said Jamaica for go away, even say, would Jamaica Liam Bailey Jamaica for go away, say nothing but Liam Bailey for go away. And Mason Green has never said anything bad about Jamaica. He just hasn't come play for it. All right, Ray Ball, I got my bed. So let me just say this before I close out, people, which is this. And I'm going to say it 1,001 times. I have no problems or no fight or no issues with kids who are born in Jamaica who play for Jamaica. I'm supportive of them. I support Damian Lowe. I support Andre Blake. I support Shamar Nicholson. I have supported Dixon. I have supported Cephas. Final call for the evening. Good night.
Kranky.
Yes. Who am I speaking to?
Don't do that. This is your quarter time co-host.
Why you call the program? Why do you do that? You call the program done. Why you do that? Why you do that?
I actually really only have 5 minutes. So I really do.
It's like 25 minutes, people. But go ahead.
No. People are holding dance in the storms.
But your time, but you're the opening act, so your time passed already. You're supposed to have time.
No. I keep telling you that. Due to circumstances where they're at the top. Look here. I caught bits and pieces of your program.
Yes.
I tried to keep up with the hurricane watch and stuff.
How is that? By the way, wait. Tell the people, how is that going before you go into the.
Well, people are. I don't know if people are taking it as serious as they do because they call me and tell us the dance are going in which part is like it. I was like, okay.
The hurricane can't stop the dance. What are you talking about?
Hurricane can't stop dance, so we have to put some big. We have to strap down the sound and put some big. But I don't even think that works though. Cause I think the breeze. Well, I don't think the breeze is here. It's just
but the hurricane blow away you and the sound system. Yeah, go on.
It lift up you and the sound. Yeah. that will be how you kind of get. That will be a meme.
Yep.
Pull up, wheel, pull up. Let us pull up. Oh boy. So we got some groceries. We're probably gonna go tomorrow and get some more stuff because it looks like it's a bit more serious.
Okay.
Probably pick up.
So you haven't shopped yet? Cataract. That's not a good thing. Cataract.
I said I shopped already. I picked up stuff.
Okay.
But I think I'm gonna get a couple more cases of water.
You're supposed to shop for a week. You're supposed to shop for at least 2 weeks. You're supposed to shop for at least 2 weeks with the view that it may last a week and then you can get be mobilized and move around. So it's a shop for.
The supermarket is like 2 minutes away from where I live, so I don't think it'd be blocked to get to the supermarket.
You assume the shelves are still packed.
Are still whatever.
Yeah. Right.
But it's if you have family in Jamaica, if you're overseas, even though Maverick don't like the diaspora, but I guess send them some liquor funds, man, please.
We send our family Jamaica funds. We send a lot of funds. It's sometimes not appreciated, but we send them funds.
No, I know that's what I'm saying. Even though Maverick a beat for the bad, but he said with something. Yeah.
Wait, you know what's in cataract? Me see pan you take a cataract up here create party to generate money, Him see when I beat him, come America, come make him quick. First, Mr. said people you says cataract. But Maverick are the biggest hypocrite pan guys out there. Maverick don't make no effort to go watch Jamaica play outside of Jamaica. None. You Maverick that like you come out Florida. You Maverick come out Florida. You Maverick go to Houston. You Maverick go to St. Louis. You Maverick go to Dallas. You not going nowhere go watch Jamaica play football. I'm run off in mouth. And I complain about drive go stadium right on the road from him live. And I come talk to other people in diaspora who fly so much pay and so much money. Man, I'm nonsense. Go ahead, Cataract. Say man.
No, but like I said, I wouldn't compare myself to the Maverick. Like I said to you, our thing different. As you saw on your life, right?
Yeah.
When we go to support Reggae Boyz, we don't spend less than 100,000 when I go support Reggae Boyz on a match day. You understand? So if a man, like I only feel like, I'm going to stop you from getting your media pass, because I'm all powerful. Yeah, it would have saved me 2,000 for myself. So I spent 98,000. But I mean, I support my team. I'm an ultra. And I mean, you are as well. We were in a stadium more than once. Even through what do you call it, you know, a big lightning storm. You recall that the game had to be stopped for about
Yes.
half
That's in
45
Orlando. That's
minutes.
in Orlando. Yeah.
That's in Orlando. What did we do?
Yeah.
We went to the bar, Hennessy on table.
Well, you guys drank. I didn't. I drank water.
You
water.
didn't drink, but you contributed to purchase it, even though though you didn't drink a sip. You bought and put a bottle on the table with other bottles. That's how we do. Maverick, we don't see you, that. You know what I'm saying? We don't see you. All the man, they were there. Reggae Boyz come. We see those people. You know what I mean? We are all out there. That was one of the nicest for half an hour or 45 minutes, because they took off the teams, and we really man and man got to know man and converse and thing. You know, it's so you. I am not gonna jump and beat nobody. I just said to Maverick, go and eat your food after Reggae Boyz, because that's what you're doing. The eat a food thing, right? You have a YouTube channel and you make from the views and the red, even the red stripe, white rum, man. Go on to that. But don't knock those of us who are doing it from the heart without anything. Right? I did want to say to you though, that the best team, as the Jamaica relay team found out for the last 2 times now, is not necessarily the 4 best or the 4 fastest person. But we have always said the best players that make up a team is what we should be looking at. Right? Not balance or anything, but the best persons that make the team and keep the team chemistry. So I'm not looking for balance. If it's 19, if it's 19 overseas based and 4 Jamaicans, or if it's 19 Jamaicans and 4, if we find that the man who come from the UK not running and not don't want to run and protect the ball and stuff, then they're out. You know, but the cream rises to the top. And I believe that we will qualify. But then I also believe that next year when we go to the World Cup, we're gonna get a pasting, depending on which group you go in, because nobody is joking. We have handed the Caribbean, the CFU, the blueprint of how to qualify for a World Cup. Everybody has taken up the blueprint, right? Big advocate have man in Holland right now as we speak. I go to people's mailbox and say, I don't know how you say it in Dutch, you know? Right now. And if he can get them a passport in a week, they will get them a passport in a day.
You know, Cataract, that's the point, which is he's doing everything possible to give them the best chance to make the World Cup.
Thank you.
We're not doing that.
And we are not on that. We are on something else. We I don't even know what we're on, but we're on something else. We're not on that. I saw something in the papers or something. Is Mr. Speed the best coach in the Caribbean? Some shit like that.
I am not touching any Speed comment. I've been beaten to death about that, so we'll leave that alone.
I saw it in the article. So let me say this. In Jamaica, the best football coach in Jamaica, locally, is Theodore Tapper Whitmore, right? And they will be concerned as whether he's good enough for the international level, but at the local level, he is the best coach that I see there. If the league was being run like a league and not like a knockout competition, then Speed wouldn't win anything. Speed comes through in the last 2 games, the semi-final and the finals, but they never been at the top of the league or anything like that. So I just think I've always believed. You remember when I was with Raymond Price campaign, and I said to you, look, I want to see in my lifetime Jamaica win Men's World Cup. And I believe if we had all put our aims and our hearts to that, we could have challenged, right? I look at the pool that is there now, and I'm telling you this: the Jamaican pool has shrunk, right? When we first started doing this, I think I made a comment to you and told you that there was a there was a Jamaican eligible player in every single of the 20 Premier League clubs, barring none, in 2021 when we were trying to qualify. And with now, I'm telling you, I can't find none.
Yeah, the other day, Cataract, in England,
more than three quarters of the club don't have a Jamaican. As a matter of fact, there's no starting Jamaican eligible player.
But even when the clubs have
maybe
Jamaicans,
Tyreek Mitchell.
Yeah, he's starting for he's gonna play tomorrow against Arsenal. We'll see how it looks. Yeah. He's waiting for England though. But here's the thing, Cataract. Even when you have players like this, you have a forward from Tottenham now, right? Who is not in the Tottenham first team. He's in the juniors.
Dane Scarlett?
Yeah, they brought him in to train with England. The man want to cap everybody, Cataract. So they do. I give them hope. So they're not going to play for nobody else.
But why would you do anything else? But look at the young lady who switched allegiance from Jamaica to England to play for the England Lioness or whatever.
You know what happened, right? We took so long with our passport situation and just said, forget this. By the time we come through, England Cataract. We could get her a long time and cap her a long time Cataract.
Long time.
Long time Cataract.
So, listen, there'll always be Jamaica player. Listen, there's a place for a player, but it becomes increasingly small. Like, for example, Dixon. Dixon plays with all heart, right? His heart is on his sleeve. He's not the most talented. I think Dixon might end up at a League 2 club. For all that we think, probably the best export out there so far directly from the Premier League, is at a League 2 level.
Dixon is struggling to get Cataract. Dixon got 9 minutes today at Crawley Town. He got 9 minutes, Cataract. He's struggling to get time nowadays. He was getting time when he first went there. His time is dwindling game after game after game. It's not a good look.
Tell you what, right, down there in the Kranky, a big, a brute force playing football down there.
Yeah.
I don't think he's built for that.
Yeah, but what's his name went there and doing well. Tyrese Hall went there and doing well. He went to League 2 and doing well for Notts County.
I said built for it, my friend. Tyrese Hall.
Oh, you mean built for it? Okay.
For it, built.
Look at Dixon's stats. Dixon initially, in his first game, he got 26 minutes. In his next 3 games, he got 90 minutes. Then one game, he was in the squad. Then he got 28 minutes. He got 37 minutes. He was on the bench. He got 55 minutes. Not in squad, 9 minutes. His time is dwindling. He gonna get up at some point. He won't get up playing. Which Maverick call a Bush League. His time, as they watch him play more and more, they're reducing his time more and more. That's not a good thing. While Tyrese Hall thinks the opposite. And then we have people like Reggae Boyz blogger come here talking their nonsense.
Look here. I remember when we were cutting, when the Blue Boys were on at what did I do with this? We're all at my cousin Anthony Grant saying he's a League 2, League 1 baller. Look at how many starts and how many minutes. Those leagues are not play leagues. Those are professional. They are consistent of 2 things. You're journeymen, but you have a lot of men who are from the championship who are out there on loan. And then you have a lot of older players who, like Grant, but Grant has been there a long time. A lot of older players who are finishing off their careers, like the Mariapas, etc., when he was down there. So it's not, you can't scoff at the Mandem League, brother.
No, here's the thing, Kranky.
We act like the JPL here.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sorry.
Somebody says Kranky is in camp and the coach doesn't like it. You're at the bottom of the league. I know you understand that. Here's what I find people. No come making excuses. When these kids get called up for national teams, these League 2 and League 1 clubs love that. Because they say they call them international, Jamaica international. They like to bring that out there to make themselves look good as a club and as a league to say they have international playing in their league. You know, stop the nonsense about them now get game time in my camp. Stop the nonsense, man. Go ahead. You can't take the nonsense.
Furthermore, it doesn't benefit them to only have 1 player, because you need to have 3 in order to have your game postponed by the international window. So those that have a one man that play for Wales or Ireland or whatever, they're happy. They're looking for somebody else to come in so that they can take that little burden off. You know what I mean?
We keep making excuses. We keep making excuses when it doesn't fit our narrative.
Yeah. Those are excuses. And they sound stupid to be.
Like I'm gonna bench you to hurt myself if you're such a good player. Why would I do that?
Yeah, that's dumb.
I know they play games during the window, Cygnus, but that's not the reason why he's not playing. I don't agree with that.
No. They only play games, Kranky, if you have less than 3 players who are internationals. If you have 3 players who are international, your match is postponed.
Yeah, but I'm saying they may play games with Crawley Town. I'm not sure they have 3 international on their team.
Pardon me?
I'm not sure Crawley Town has 3 international on their team.
No, well, Andrew Rattle did. They had 3 internationals. No, man. There's a kid there from Wales.
Okay.
And there was one from Ireland.
Okay.
That's why when Swindon was messing with Grant, Crawley Town took him.
All right.
Right? I mean, remember that people who play for Republic of Ireland and Antigua, them man that they don't get the top of the league. Look at Republic of Ireland.
No, I know. But not an Ireland and Republic of Ireland may not have
not an Ireland as well.
Yeah.
Even Scotland might have some League One. But I mean, I know Scotland have their league, and then they have but yeah. So we can go and fool in ourselves, brother. That's all I say. In terms of, and we can chat while I drive. I think the ride is here to pick me up. But in terms of everything that is there for the Reggae Boyz, I think we have wasted our natural resources. You know what I mean? That's like Guyana saying, yo, I don't want a goal. I don't want a man with gold.
No. Say oil. Say oil.
Or oil.
They have enough oil, but they might give it to Exxon. And nobody, Exxon take all the oil money.
Yeah.
All the oil money. They might get what? 12.5% of profits and 3% of gross revenues. When they're supposed to get like most people get 9% of gross revenues. It's crazy.
But that is more than sufficient.
No, it's not sufficient. Most countries give you 9. Most countries are getting 9 to 10% of gross revenues. Of the top first, then you subtract your costs, and then you get the profit number. They're losing billions. They're getting 1/3 of what they should be getting.
Yes, but what I'm saying is that it doesn't matter to them. Listen, there's 700,000 people in Ghana.
I know, but they're poor in Ghana. You know they're poor like dirt.
No.
And they're divided country between Indians and blacks.
Blacks, yeah.
I know what I'm talking about. Trust me, category. I know you live in Ghana, but I know what I'm talking about. You haven't been there in a while. Trust me.
No, I'm saying to you, everywhere you have people who are poor, right? So like you might have the man who was working and cutting cane or whatever.
Yeah.
But not as poor as they were on the Forbes burner.
I know, but the problem is the money's not being.
They're happy.
So every dollar you miss out and somebody else get, you could have invested in your country. That's the point.
What are they going to invest in?
What do you mean? Give people. Look. A lot of these oil countries, like in the Middle East, they give stipend to their constituent. They give them money to help them. They build infrastructure. They build roads. They build schools. They build hospitals. They build all of these things. They generate economic activity. Let's not digress because you don't go on the wrong path. You're going to not digress.
No, I'm not taking you on the wrong path. I'm just simply saying that the revenue that they get in Ghana, they can't even spend it. Look here, I might like me to get I think I get $2,000 check or something like that. From the area where I live. Just out of the sale of the oil, right? Because whatever. So yeah. But back to the football though. So I think that look, I've always said to you that there are people in Jamaica who honestly believe that an all-Manning Cup, all the Costa Cup team can qualify to the Under-17 World Cup. And some might go even further and tell you win it. Right? But qualify.
Right.
There are also some of those who honestly swear that if you pick an all-star JPL team with Andre Blake and Damian Lowe, you will win.
Yeah, I'm sure
you'll qualify.
Yeah.
Right?
And you just add Cephas and Dixon and Nicholson. Because you have a jungle forward line, you know. That click against Bermuda, you know. A jungle forward line. That play well against a great Bermuda. Did really well against a great Bermuda.
So,
Bermuda's a brilliant team. 165 in the world, them rank, but them brilliant.
Yeah, so I think what people say, you know, it was a good result. It's like I was watching them talking about Liverpool beating Eintracht Frankfurt, right?
Yeah.
Say, look, it's an excellent result. Needed. 27-62. Needed, right? However, Eintracht Frankfurt in the last 6 games, or the 6 games of the Bundesliga, has shipped 24 goals. You know, that's 4 goals per game. So, one second.
Pristine. No, I don't think so. I think the Hutchinson thing is on park for a while. He may come after the World Cup. I think he's Hutchinson's struggling to get into Nottingham Forest team, you know, so I know it's gonna work for him. He has his own issues that he has to work out, but he's not getting any game time. All the managers who are coming in are playing him. He's got 2 really good players in front of him. So, but I'm not sure Mason's gonna come though. I don't think Mason's gonna come. At least not for November window. I don't see that happening. It's possible, but I don't think it's probable. Think about it, love to see him come because he's on form. He's scoring goals. But
So if Jamaica got a different draw, right? Like if we were drawn in the group with Panama and stuff, I believe the JFF may have pursued it more rigorously.
No. They pursued it vigorously. Trust me.
In Panama. I believe
Cataract.
a soup group.
Cataract. No. They pursue him, man. Trust me. That's not the issue. He's just. No, I don't know what the issue is why he doesn't want to come. I'm not going to blame the JFF for this one.
No, when I say pursue, what do I call pursue? I call like how Ghana was pursuing. Was it that huge?
Trust me, Cataract. Trust me on this one.
I don't.
They pursue him as best as they could, but sometimes Cataract, you can't pursue. Somebody didn't want to get pursued in Cataract. You become stalker, you know. Become stalker. You know what? Become stalker. If you ask the man to come, you tell the man to do everything, you come and the man say, him not. When I give you a good answer, what you do? You have to just hold up and say, you know what? If you change your mind, let me know.
No, sir.
Yeah, man. Trust me, Cataract.
Cataract.
This is not about JFF. I blame JFF for that.
I'm not saying. Look here. If we had aggressively pursued him when he was down on his face, right? We were timid in that time, saying, "Boy, what would happen if we bring him? Come and da 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 da." Now the man is on top. He's playing like hard to get. It's like when you have a girl. I know you hate my girl analogies in Jamaica, and when she dead and broke and need paparazzi and need some fear on you for put credit on her phone, she'll talk to you. But she get a bus and gone a parade now and do a BBL. Listen to you.
The analogy doesn't work.
Yes,
because no. It doesn't work because But listen.
Mason Greenwood was not as prolific a goal scorer as he has been now in the French league. Admit that. He was an excellent player, who-footed for Man U, but he was not a 20-goal a season. What did them tax him on here, man?
So I'm gonna say this: JFF has done as best as they can, knowing their limitations, to pursue the play, and it hasn't worked out. And they continue to leave the door open for the play. And here Rudolph Speed said this, which is, if Mason Greenwood came a second before the window is closed for the World Cup, we might take him. They are very open to Mason Greenwood coming in the team.
All right, stand in the first, right? Yeah. So I hope it works out. I hope it does. I really hope it does. No man, it's not there. No man, just turn in the road.
So somebody asks you why a person in the chat who is a very unfair person who reasoning his own place and his own time is asking you why Rico Henry is not getting game time for Brentford. By the way, he didn't ask why Pinnock not getting game time for Brentford. He asked you about Rico Henry because he's saying he has Greg Lee and Bell, and Rico Henry is better than Amari Bell and Greg Lee, by the way. That's not debatable.
It's not debatable. So I will tell you this. Greg Lee plays, as I see it, much better. Much better than
Bell?
he does for his club.
For his club?
No, than he does for his club. Bell is Bell, a solid championship level defender. No nonsense. Just gives you a 6 most games. Right? That's it.
At least Rico Henry get 5 minutes here and 10 minutes here. Some players not getting no minutes. Some players not have no team that beat Rico Henry. Rico Henry is in the Premier League. It's what I don't like the reasoning. He's in the Premier League, people. He's not in some bush league, how you want to call it. I know some secondary league. He's playing the top league in the world. Today he got about 5 minutes, I think, or 6 minutes. He's not getting regular playing time. Peanut didn't get any minutes. And I'm going to ask you about him versus other players. The logic just escapes me.
Yeah, but then what you would say about David Ando then? We have had players. Shamar wasn't getting no minutes for his club.
I know.
Come on, man. Come on. Cephas, how much minutes Cephas get for him club?
Cephas has played 176 minutes for the entire season so far. And
that's less than two.
He has about 50 goals and 50 assists in those games. In regular Blackout's mind. But in reality, he has 0.
But why do you even talk to them on there?
I don't know. It's very hard. It's very, very hard. It's very, very hard. It's very, very hard.
I want to fully done, so brother. Fully done. When it comes to the football racing. Look here. It is likely that no other player is going to come in. And it is likely that we will win or get the results necessary to qualify for the World Cup. God help us if we end up in the Intercontinental playoff. Because I don't know, joke team them did, right?
No, we can't go into the Intercontinental playoff. That's no. You may have to play where you play, like African champion or some team of Africa. You know,
the African team, Asia.
You don't do that.
Oceania, which could be like a New Zealand.
Oceania is a better. We don't want to go. We don't think that road. That's not a road to even consider.
No. No, but what I'm saying is, that's I'm saying to you, we end up here this month.
What we have to focus on is hoping that we don't, we lost to Curacao, and Trinidad and Curacao drew both games, right? We can't afford to lose to any one of those teams. I think we can't afford to lose to Curacao. We can't afford to lose to Trinidad. We can't afford to lose to Curacao. But we should try not to lose to any of those teams because it could work out really bad in our favor. Really bad. I think Cataract lost me. Cataract, I have to go. I need to go. I need to go. It's 11:22. I need to go. I've been on for 3 hours.
All right, cool. Easy.
We'll talk later. All right, people. That was Cataract, as usual, partying in a hurricane. Before I go, let me just say this. People in Jamaica, if you are susceptible to the hurricane situation, meaning you're in a really dangerous spot, you need to relocate and go someplace where you can be safe. And for everybody in Jamaica, I hope the hurricane passes without any extensive damage and everybody comes out of it safe and sound without loss of property or loss of life. Let me answer this couple of questions. Kranky, was it Irish Tyrese can play national position for Jamaica? Would you drop him for it? I don't know actually for Tyrese. I think Tyrese he has not gotten the benefit of a jump out in Jamaica. I think he's been judged the most harsh for any Jamaica player who's probably ever come to the national team, apart from, say, Wes Harding. What do I mean by that? He's been played out of position. He hasn't hit the ball off the cover, but he's not been given the chance that Dixon has been gotten or Cephas has gotten. That's a fact. And he hasn't taken his chance when he got it. That's the thing. You got to put the ball in the net or create assists and do something exciting. He's tried to prove himself and made some decisions which were Cephas-like and didn't get him to a good place. So he'll be dropped in the next window because if Bailey and Gray are fit And you know how the local populations are, the coach and the support around Whisper, Cephas, and Dixon has to be in the team. And if you're going to bring 4 wingers, they may bring 5 because, you know what? They don't care about midfield. Bring 4 wingers and 2 people have to get out of the team. The 2 persons are Campbell, automatic drop, as far as I'm concerned, that's going to happen. And then another player, which may work out to be, I have no idea who that would be. Because the coach is effusive of his praise of Dixon, Whisper, and Cephas, because he's a politician. But Gray and Bailey, they come in. I don't know how it's going to work. So we'll see what happens. When they went to the Gold Cup, they took 2 midfielders in their genius self. And all the people who say they wouldn't have done this didn't call it out until they hear YouTubers call it out. But anyway, let's see what happens. But I don't know. I attack Pinnock. Reggae Boyz, you don't tell me who to attack. I attack Pinnock. I don't even attack Pinnock for his game time. I attack Pinnock because I said he can't get in Brentford team. But you know, Pinnock is playing the Premier League. And Cephas is playing the Russian League and can't get no game. And when him get game, he can't score. You know what I'm saying about that. At least when Pinnock plays for Jamaica, he seems like he's okay. I call out Pinnock. I call out Lowe. I have called out Latibodir, who hasn't played a game all season. I have called out all those players. But you guys, who are very biased when it comes to local players, can't hear that. You hear nothing about that. All you hear is me talking about Cephas and Dixon. That's all you can focus on. I call out Russell ad nauseum. I call out Russell more than any other player, frankly. And my frustration with him, especially in game time, he's not producing. Even though Russell has 5 goals and 1 assist and score against team inside the 100, but Cephas doesn't. You guys don't hear that. All you guys hear is Kranky calling out a couple of. You hear me call out Whisper? Have I called out Whisper at all? Even though I'm playing under 21 national team. Did I call Whisper one time? Huh? I don't live on no Cephas and Dixon. Cephas and Dixon came up a lot because I called them out on KLSA and I got attacked by Maverick. That's why they came up in conversation more. I ain't calling them out more than anybody else. But my view is when we play the Trinidad of the world and Curacao in the next zone, we can't carry anybody. We can't afford to carry anybody against the better teams when these players are not producing against the big teams. But anyway, I want Jamaica to win. You guys just want local players to be the national team. That's how we differ. But anyway, people, I appreciate each of you being here. I came on at last minute. Some of you have stayed with me throughout this entire 3.5 hours, and I truly appreciate you. You have other things to do on a Saturday night than listen to Kranky, but I appreciate you being here. Before you go, please hit the like button, please share, please subscribe, and please support both channels, both Kranky Live and Balance View. Have a wonderful evening. Have a wonderful Sunday. Pray for the people in Jamaica, those of you who pray. Rob Smith, that's a lie. That's a lie. That's not what I said. I said I would not call Whisper because he's been injured. That's not what I said. I said I wouldn't call him because he's been injured. And it's unfair to the kid to bring him back after an ACL injury and have him play in the national team, playing in this region where they play physical and the ref don't call the games fairly. Why do you guys do this? Jesus Lord. Good night, people. I don't want to talk to them no more. Bye. Me out. Bye. Kranky Life is the best to be now. For the best sports talk and it's free, yo. Kranky Life will be your guiding light by keeping you informed both day and night. Kranky Life, tell them. Kranky Life, heed them. Kranky Life, want them. Kranky Life. From the courts to the field, we'll never lose because Kranky has the hottest news. With expert analysis, we break it down. Our in-depth coverage is best in town. Kranky Life, tell them. Kranky Life, heed them. Kranky Life, want them. Kranky Life. Kranky Life, where the sports is spicy and where we keep the discussion lively. Kranky Life, get to know the name because Kranky analysis is never lame. Kranky Life, give me my Kranky Life. I want my Kranky Life. Must have my Kranky Life. Whether it's football, or track and field. You know Kranky is at the wheel. So join the journey through victory and defeat, and subscribe and don't miss a beat of Kranky life. Tell them Kranky life. Heed them Kranky life. Want them Kranky life. If you're from England or USA, from Kingston or Bombay, from Kenya or Canada, Lagos or Havana, visit Kranky Live. Tune into Kranky Live. Like up Kranky Live. Subscribe to Kranky Live. Kranky Live coming to you on weekdays. Kranky Live sometimes on Sundays. Pull up a chair and take a seat because Kranky will always bring the heat. Kranky Live. Me say fi tell them Kranky Live. Me say fi heed them Kranky Live. On them Kranky Live. Kranky Live will be around. Kranky Live is the best in town. Me say fi heed them. Me say fi want them. Me say fi heed them. Want them, heed them, want them. Kranky Live. Kranky Live. Heed them, want them, heed them, want them. Kranky Live. Kranky Live. Heed them, want them, heed them, want them, heed them, want them. Kranky Live. Kranky Live. Kranky. Heed them, want them, heed them, want them, heed, want, heed them.